Bublam, bublam. Okay, there we go. We're good now. Yeah, we're out.
Are we?
Are you
We're
sure?
out
We
or
are,
we're
we are.
in?
My
Are we
stream deck didn't
in?
work, but we are here, regardless.
Are we live? Oh my goodness. It only took 2 countdowns and a lot of criticism. Supportive feedback. Are you sure? I still see stream starting soon.
No, I can see
No,
it.
no, we
Delay.
are live.
We're
You
here.
might be on a
Oh,
delay.
it's me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just me. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome back to the Chocolatiers. My name is D. I am the Dungeon Master for this evening, and we're going to play some Dungeons & Dragons after finally going live. But first, we need to talk about who we are and what we do before we get into this game. So, Eminence, why don't you kick us off?
Hi, I'm Nicole. Mine's always quick because I don't do other stuff on the internet. I play Eminence. She's a tiefling warlock. I'm going to take the disaster title because Aery's not here today. Yeah, she has a sister who generally puts up with her shit. That's all I can think of at the moment.
Speaking of sister who puts up with the shit, Oriana.
Yeah. Hi, I am Maleficent, and I play the sister that mostly puts up with Eminence's shit. I play Oriana. She is also a tiefling. She is a war cleric, and she is grumpy and less of a disaster, at least on the outside.
Awesome. Natalie.
Hi, hello. I'm Natalie. I exist, and I am the one who is truly chaos as a person. But Natalie's not. Natalie's not really chaos, like at all. She's a half-orc barbarian. So just cool in general.
You're
Much
also
cooler
not
than I
really all
am.
that chaotic.
Yeah, but not changing over when I was meant to, and
I don't know if that's necessarily chaoticness.
Can we not call me
Chaos?
out like 5 minutes
Yeah,
into this?
We're just
Hey,
starting the
look,
show.
If my potentially lawful heart can think I'm chaotic, can I live in this fantasy for a little while?
Right, so you're lawful delusional. That's your alignment.
Yes, that's it.
More willful delusional at this point. Hey, let's get into the game. Where last time we had our intrepid heroes, they were stuck inside of the time loop in the pot. They made discoveries, made allies. They were able to prevent the death of both Akbanok and Volnbjorn by going back in time. No, by Eminence having a vision of what was going to come and using that vision to help save Volnbjorn. In addition, the party was able to get some diamond dust from the 3 intrepid adventurers, Edmund, Ethramal, and Evelyn, and revive the murdered Akbanok. Tragically, though, Akbanok was nonverbal and they were unable to determine who the killer was, so they went through a very elaborate plan that involved a lot of stabbing and some fire. But they determined that the killer was, in fact, Alexia. And in the last few remaining moments of the chaos, shortly before the time reset, she stabbed herself in order to escape suspicion and also managed to stab and kill Evelyn, who died and passed away and was not in the next cycle of the loop. When the next cycle of the loop began, Natalie immediately chased Alexia down into the sort of service area of Ridden's Dredge, the sanatorium, towards a natural water tunnel system. And through its winding corridors and a harrowing chase, she managed to catch up to Alexia at the spore walls, where they got into a brief tussle. Natalie was slashed on the arm by a strange dagger that Alexia retrieved and rendered her arm completely useless. I don't remember. Did y'all fix that? I think we were going to try to do something in this session.
Yes, we have not done it yet, but we had a plan.
Had a plan. Plans are good. Plans always go according to themselves.
I don't even remember what the plan is right now, but I'm looking at my spell sheet and
I thought
hoping that it comes back to me.
from what I remember, you didn't have any of the spells available that you needed.
Well, that sounds familiar. It sounds like that
Um,
is definitely something that I was going to have to remedy after a long rest.
Yeah. So I think for today, it was pretty not good.
Either way, it is 5 in the afternoon. The sun is starting to dip westward towards the side of the central crater. You stand at the mouth to the Spore Caves, watching people go about their usual time loop business. You see Ethramal and Edmund walk by, but of course, no Evelyn. And as you stand there, you are approached by Herod, who makes the motion that he knows that he is going to die today. What would you like to do?
This would be immediately after I told him to stay away from Alexia.
He gives you a vibrant nod.
Alexia escaped into the tunnels system thing underneath the town. We don't know where she went. I feel like last time were we talking about potentially going back to the to Ridden's Dredge? Was that right?
I believe we were hoping to gather everyone back at Ridden's Dredge again so that she couldn't isolate anyone and then kill them. Like, if her whole plan is to take one person a day, then her being on the run is kind of fine for now.
Yeah, because she can't get to anyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we even have the additional, the Kuatoa with us as well, don't we?
Yeah, they were in the caves. Oh, that's right. Didn't you bribe them with the tuna?
Yeah.
Like you reached into the wall and grabbed it out? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very proud of that moment. Just a side note. Do you think we could, like, deja vu, do what we did the day before to grab everyone? Just call out, be like, yo, guys, let's go. Challenge the other guys, like, get everyone back there.
I would say that it takes...
No, it works.
Yeah, I would say that it takes about half an hour to basically run around and grab everyone, because you're basically... They're not in their positions yet. They're not settled. They're still getting into place, so you've got plenty of time and opportunity to flag them down and be like, hello, here's the thing that I said last time. Blah, 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 blah. Time skip. It's 5:30. You are at Ridden's Dredge, the sanatorium. You have everyone in town, sans Alexia. Currently missing, Aery is nowhere to be seen. Not Aery, Aery.
Aery.
Evelyn, yes. Evelyn, nowhere to be seen. And just double check. Yeah, no, you've got everyone else.
Because we have Melee and I can't remember
Oriana?
another's name. Yeah.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah. Cool.
Yes. Like, you could literally just do a circuit around the crater and grab everyone and be like, Autobots, move out. Yeah, so you have everyone there, 5:30 in the afternoon. The interior to Ridden's Dredge is comfortable, warm. There's a small degree of anticipation and curiosity as to why this half-orc who sprinted through the crowd of people has now assembled everyone together at the sanatorium. Quinn and Von Bjorn both seem confused, but after the gatekeep gaslight,
I have no fear. I'll knock them over again.
yeah. They're kind of like, okay. And for some reason, Akbanok seems to be following you three around. You don't see the recognition that he remembers the events of yesterday, but he still seems to be surprisingly comfortable around what he sees as three newcomers.
This is more directed at, like, the party, but we get the feeling that the people who start to remember are the ones who seem to die, right? Except for us. We seem to be an outlier. But, we're constantly at fear of death. So there's that to consider for us.
Yeah, it seems like people who previously did not remember the loop are approaching us and saying that they know there's a loop only on the day that they are going to die.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily have to happen because, like, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, Van Bjorg knew he was going to die and then didn't.
Do we know if he... That's a good point. Do we know if he remembers anything today?
Does he remember anything today?
Yeah.
Yes.
You already engaged with him a little bit yesterday when you gaslighted him in the hallway, and he didn't seem to recognize you three.
Did we gaslight Falmion? I don't remember us doing...
Yeah.
Oh. No, we did a
No,
little.
we
Found
did.
and
We did a
Quinn in the
little.
hallway.
Oh,
Make sure to
no,
keep the
it was
gaslights
him.
in order.
Oh, no.
Hey, if we don't, we'll just tell them that they're misremembering.
Oh no.
Yikes. Anyway.
Not better.
It makes us picture... It paints us a terrible picture, but I promise we're not awful. I promise I'm not awful.
Mm.
Wow. Okay, so we collect everybody. I guess we probably don't want to give them weapons and say, don't let anyone through these doors. That probably seems like a bad idea.
Also recalling that Alexia seemed very betrayed when she was caught, I'm still pretty convinced that there's an accomplice involved. So I don't want to give anybody any weapons.
Some kind of shapeshifty something, maybe.
Well-
You
Sorry.
remembered the aura of transfiguration was coming from Duck, and I think you got like a natural 20 on your investigation or arcana.
That's right. Duck is
Um,
actually a duck. That's
We
what we
wanted
were
our
doing at the very
win.
end of the last episode. Natalie convinced Oriana that she needed to dispel the magic on Duck so she could have some kind of a win today.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's all coming back to me. We probably shouldn't do that in like the middle of the
Gather round, everyone.
gathering. Because they may not believe that Duck used to actually be a duck. They may believe that we just turned this man into a duck for no good reason. Because we did just arrive. Like, they have no reason to believe that we've been here before. And we're like, oh no, that duck man is actually a duck. Now he's a duck.
Okay, does anyone else get the feeling that we're secretly starting a religion here?
What?
Not like intentionally, but like
Oh my god!
kind of
these
with the
three
way that
people
we're
are
like
here and they're
rolling
just-
in and delivering
They're
miracles.
turning people
like,
into ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's
A
going to be some
little.
big, like, we worship the duck thing. There's going to be some duck
God.
religion that pops up from this. Anyway.
Turns out that everyone's higher form is a duck. We will all ascend eventually.
That's what they believe. They believe in the mighty duck. He who rules the skies and also the lakes. And the
May
pond.
his flying V formation lead us all.
Yeah. Would the mess hall be big enough to house everyone? I know we had most people in there yesterday.
The sanatorium?
Yes.
Yeah. So there are all of the rooms sort of in the patient wing, and right now some of those rooms are a little bit empty. There's also the administrative wing, which had plenty of rooms further down in the caves. So aside from the entrance to Ridden's Edge being like the large cave opening that it is, the only other way in or through was the water stream outlet that you found at the end of last session, that you know of.
Pose this to you both. What if we gather everyone together under the guise of a sleepover even. Keep everyone in the same room. We keep everyone in the same places. Any entrances, have people stand there, but direct them to, kind of fill them in, but tell them to yell out whenever someone comes, not to go after anyone or do anything. And that way we've got some kind of idea of where everyone is. in the same place.
Good idea.
I don't think we need to tell them it's a sleepover. We've already sort of drawn the attention of. I'm going to motion towards like Van Bjorn and the staff that are probably looking at us real suspiciously.
Look,
So we did not make a good first impression.
This is technically
Yeah.
a hospital. I would assume if we said sleepover, most of the villagers would be like at a hospital rather
I
than
was so
Yay!
I
sure
just wanted
you were about to say
to
this is
have
technically a hostage
fun.
situation.
Oh.
It's like, we could go with that, I guess.
That's gonna take a
Well,
turn.
you're not wrong.
I guess my main concern was just with not trying to alarm anyone and trying to make it a little funner so that no one freaks out and runs and does anything silly.
Ah, yes,
And-
casually making the life and death situation fun.
Well, not fun, but like keeping in mind the fact that stressed people make mistakes and get themselves in trouble.
True.
We don't have to do that. It's just an idea. I think telling everyone that they need to be locked up in a room and can't leave for fear of death is worse than, hey, let's have a sleepover. Weird situation, but let's just do it anyway.
True.
What is our next step after that, though? We have everybody together. Are we just going to hope that if she doesn't kill anybody in this time loop, everything goes back to normal?
That is the running
Well-
theory, right?
I suppose there's three options. She comes back and tries to kill someone, and we stop her, in which case we have her. That's a win. She doesn't come back, and we find out what happens if nobody dies, which is a win. The only problem is if she does come back and manage to kill someone, and in that case, we learn from our mistakes and try again tomorrow.
I have a bad idea.
I love a bad idea.
What if we bait her?
We
If
set a
everyone's in
single
the
person
same
wandering
room-
around in the courtyard by themselves, looking very murderable.
Yeah, pretty much. Keeping everyone else together, she'd be less likely to go into a group that's well armed and well guarded and send one person to go out.
It did work last time, baiting her.
She did have more of a reaction to you as well, Eminence.
Yes, I'm still very curious about that. But she remembers everything. She's not like the others. I don't think that we could bait her with me, for example.
Yeah, but we don't have to. It doesn't have to be an obvious bait. You could be out pretending to look for other people, doing something that she would expect us to do.
True.
Or you could send me. I can't use my arm at the moment. She's going to see me as an easy target.
That might make you an easy target.
Well, if we find her, we're going to have to do something to her anyway, aren't we? You're telling me that Eminence has more of a chance than I do?
Excuse me.
To be attacked, I mean. I don't see you as much of a frontline person.
I have been in the front lines from the beginning.
Yeah, but should you be?
Also, no, you haven't.
Shh.
If you looked at
Shush me.
Oriana,
I'm not going to let
Oriana
you put
is
yourself
armored.
on the front line just because you think that you can do it and lie to everyone and say you've been there the entire time. That's not what's happened. You already got yourself stabbed once in the past 24 hours.
Intentionally, which was part of the plan to be stabbed. The plan was to be stabbed, and I executed the plan perfectly.
I guess.
Herod is still hovering around the three of you and is just looking on with like avid interest.
Yeah,
And
he's
you're, like,
absolutely not being the bait.
Intentionally stabbed, and he's like,
Hey,
Just having
buddy,
a
do
blast.
you want to be the next person to be
No.
intentionally stabbed?
No. I
he
draw the
reaches
line.
into his trouser pocket and pulls out like a lump of salt, like a jawbreaker, and just pops it in his mouth.
Do we know why Aery isn't here? Because it was Aery
Aery was
that
the one who was
died.
one that was
originally
dead.
killed.
No, was it
Yeah.
Aery who did, or Aery who? Am I getting them confused?
I'm
for no
Aery.
reason? No, but I thought there was an Aery and an Ori, like Oral and Oriana, like Ori.
There's an Aery NPC, an Ori, Oriana, and an Aery,
No,
and
but
that's the
I had
confusion.
in my notes that there was an Ori, but I wonder if I wrote that meaning Ori. I
I
don't
think
know.
you were probably meaning Ori.
I think I'm thinking, actually, I think
I
I
have called
wrote that
Oknok Ok
wrong.
before, which is not that similar, but kind of similar.
There's Area as well.
Yeah, I
right.
think maybe I've just written it wrong, and I'm recalling that because I wrote it wrong once. So ignore me. So yeah, there should be no Ori and no Evelyn. Has it only been two? Yeah, it's been two.
It's only been 2 since we've been here.
Two that we remember.
Saved the other two. Oknok was also technically murdered, but we managed to bring him back.
Unmurdered
And
him.
he was murdered earlier than what Ori was, right?
No, and
Ori happened somewhere close to the end of the day, and then Evelyn ended up happening at the very end of the day because we saved.
I guess that's a good point, though.
other.
We were out when Ori died. And Ok was relatively later in the day. Like, it wasn't as close to midnight as what we're probably assuming. It's just that we got back
I genuinely
closer to
think
midnight.
it's just opportunity. I don't
Yeah.
think she's on any kind of time limit. I think she's just killing people when she has an opportunity to do it and not be seen. I do think that Ori may have been targeted, but
Oh,
knows?
I have a worse idea.
Oh no.
Going back to the bait idea. I'm assuming that we're just sitting in the mess hall talking about this too, just like hushed whispers, like.
I was
Yeah,
assuming
so
that
you-
we had like gone outside so no one could leave.
Oh yeah,
I
like
thought
at
we
least
were, like,
making sure
standing at
they're
the door.
fine.
You've gone around and corralled everyone in this town and said, stay here for a minute, and then just walked outside. And now you're talking about like, but what if we use ourselves as bait?
No, but I actually have a genuinely good idea. Ori died in his room, Ok died in his room. What if you look like Herod and stay in your room? His room, not your room.
I mean, it worked the first time around, but will she not be preparing for that again?
Worst comes to worst, she doesn't do that and ends up somewhere else.
Which would mean 1/3 of us is completely out of action for the time. If she tries to kill somebody else, I'll be stuck in Herod's room
I mean, if
as Herod.
she goes to get you, though, then you'll be out of action anyway.
I personally think that if we're going to go through with this plan, we should pick someone who's slightly less slippery than Herod, because he seems very hard to control. We don't want there to be 2 Herods running around.
Yeah,
Well,
but
the
we know
problem
that
is
Herod's
he's the one
gonna
who thinks he's
die.
going to die.
Yeah.
Oh.
Come to think of it, and I'd like to. Is Herod still kind of standing by us, just sucking on his salt? I'm gonna mime to him the same thing he mimed to us. I'll point at him and then do the like, but make like a sad face to be like, "It's bad that you're gonna die," not like I'm gonna kill you. um,
Okay.
does he react to that?
Yeah. He's like enjoying the conversation. You point and do the thing and make a sad face, and he's like,
Okay. Did you see the person who kills you?
it doesn't seem to comprehend the question.
Hmm. Could we get him like we did
Uh,
for
at second
Octonox and
thought,
like
he
drawing materials?
kind of does like a and reaches into his trousers and pulls out a pair of reading glasses and offers them out to you.
Take the glasses. Do they look familiar?
They do. They appear to be Aery's reading glasses.
Hmm. Okay. I'll put the glasses on and then be like, "Mhm,"
He gives like a big smile, like
and then kind of mime trying to stab him. Like, did I? That-
as you do that, he does like that like are we playing thing that happens with pets where it's like I don't understand what's happening, but this is interesting.
Hmm. Hmm. I genuinely can't tell if this is going anywhere. Yeah, I guess I will give Aria's glasses back to him.
He puts them on upside down.
Cute. Um, do you understand us? Can you nod if you understand us, Herod?
You don't see what looks like full comprehension. He doesn't nod, but he is like engaged in the conversation. He's listening. Um,
What if
yeah.
we take him back inside and ask him to point out the person who hurt him? He might not fully comprehend it, but maybe the person he's most interested in at the moment is a clue at least.
Can't hurt.
Let's give it a
It's worth a
try. And I'll
try.
kind of, yeah, usher him inside with a hand on, like, between his shoulder blades, like I'm guiding a little kid.
Mhm. And he happily trots in with you. Um, as you lead him back into the room, you can see a lot of people have relaxed now and have settled into their own standard routines. Ak was still hanging out by the door, trying to hang out with y'all. Aria is in her plush chair over in the corner, apparently working on a puzzle. But you can see she's like really squinting to look at it. Um, Herod is with you. Hadrian is speaking with Talvir, Quinn, and Valn all together. And the other folks of the pot are sort of spread out across this chamber. Um, yeah, you lead him into the room and you communicate to him like who done it. Who do you remember? And he looks around the room, looks at everyone, kind of frowns a little bit and starts walking towards the back, towards the residential area, the residential wing.
I'm guessing he's going to take us to Alexia's room. I'll follow him.
Yeah. Threnarv and Quinn kind of look a little confused as well. You could see they kind of stand nervously as you walk by. But you do pass and enter down the short hallway before finally arriving at the rooms. Herod stops in front of his room, looks at it, reaches into his pocket, and pulls out what looks like a seashell and just kind of tosses it into the room, which is just piles of stuff. And then he turns around, looks at the other doors before stepping over in front of Alexia's door and pointing and looking at you and pointing back at the door. And then he goes back over to his room, rummages around through like a pile of junk for a moment before pulling out what looks like an old blanket, and he just kind of throws it around his shoulders.
Right. Very good job. You did a very good job.
He smiles at you and plucks out the salt rock and holds it out.
Thank you.
You can add a damp salt rock to your inventory.
Yeah. Put it in my pocket and try to wipe my hand inside my pocket without him
Oh, yeah, yeah.
noticing and getting upset.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then guide him back out to the group and tell them that I'm 90% sure that he understood and he went to Alexia's room and pointed at her door.
He
I
kind of
guess that
tugs on
means
your
we're
shoulder.
babysitting him today.
He tugs on your arm a little bit and does like a running motion. Like,
Do you want to go run?
shakes his head. No. Back down the hallway and then does the running motion again.
Is everyone here?
Make a perception check.
Oh, yikes, that's a 5. What's my perception? Where's my stuff? I'm sure it's not going to be a good roll. I have a -1 to perception.
Four.
That is a
As far
4.
as you can tell, everybody's here. I mean, there's the tall orc and the duck and the lizard woman and all of that.
I think I'm gonna. Does he want to go down the hall, like after gesturing at the hall and doing the
Make
running
an
motion?
insight check for me. Because you've
It's a
been
bit
you've been
better.
spending time with him. You've been trying to understand him better.
13.
13. You get the sense that it's more of a question, like, when are we going to start running? Question mark.
Mhm. We're safe here. We'll keep you safe. We don't need to run.
He smiles and like I don't understand, but okay. The way you're saying it is reassuring.
So, what should we do?
I don't know.
As you're standing there, Melee kind of comes over to the three of you and grabs onto Herod and says, Can I have those back?" And points up at the glasses, and Herod looks down at her, a little confused. And she's like, Come here, come here. So he leans down and she just plucks the glasses off and then runs over to Area, and you could see Area, Yana, and now Melee are kind of sitting together. Area is still working on her puzzle, and Melee just plops the glasses onto her nose, and she immediately kind of leans back. A little bit of a smile comes across her face. Uh, Go ahead and make a perception check for me as you're looking at the three of them.
Just Eminence, or is this something we all would have been
All
observing?
of you, yeah, all of you would have seen this.
Mine's a 10.
11 plus 3.
14, pretty good. Natalie with the nat 20 plus 6 for a
Hey.
26.
D&D Beyond is being
Yo.
nice to me today. For the first roll. Give it a sec.
Don't say that
So
too
what you're
loudly.
saying
It will
is,
hear you.
I need to put you into combat right away so you can get these good rolls.
Exactly.
Looking at the three of them side by side, you do see like a family resemblance. They have the same like piercing eyes, the same eye shape, the same brow. Yana and Melee both have very similar hairstyles, and you can see how it would thin and when pulled back could be from the same as area as well. And you see the three of them just kind of sitting together in a familial way.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, makes sense why they come here every summer then.
Hmm. I reckon our best bet is to do very similar to what we did yesterday. Have everyone gathered together, keep a very close eye on Herod specifically, but we know that she could target anyone if we're too protective of Herod for her to get to them. And just wait for her to show up. Because, like, worst case scenario, if she doesn't show up, we find out what happens if nobody dies today.
Yeah. Probably our best bet.
So if that's the plan, we need to figure out where all the entrances and exits are, since we literally just found out that there is a water tube that you can enter from.
You can exit
Gotta
from.
find
It
out.
seems to be pretty hard to get back up it.
Well, if the water's coming from somewhere, I'm assuming. I mean, if it's going somewhere, it's gonna
Yeah,
come from
fair.
somewhere.
I don't think about it like that.
Yeah. So we've got to turn off the tap. I mean,
Well,
that's
if we
not gonna
keep
work.
if we keep everyone together in the mess hall, how many entrances
Yeah.
are there to the mess hall specifically? Are there like
To the
windows?
mess hall, there are 3. So again, the entrance to Ridden's Dredge is kind of like, have you ever seen those old airplane hangars that are like the long, narrow, or sorry, the long sort of flat roofed buildings? It's kind of like that. Like the entrance is a natural cave entrance, but the inside has been hollowed to create this sort of large, open central area. And in the back, it branches off to the 2 wings. So there are 3 entrances. The entire Ridden's Dredge is underground. There are no windows, there are no ceilings or anything. The way out is through the front entrance, which is just open cave, like no door, no curtains or anything. Or to go further into the residential or administrative area.
Okay. That's an entrance per person.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
While the 3 of you are standing there, Melee comes running back over. And she looks over and says, Grandma told me to give this to you, and holds up like a little folded piece of paper.
To me?
Just looks at the 3 of you. After a moment, Herod starts reaching for it.
I'm gonna let either Eminence or Natalie take it. Eminence has been making friends today. She can continue to do so. as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. I'll take it with one hand, and the other hand is just like a no, no, no to Herod's little reaching, grabby hands.
Yeah. Kind of puts his hand away. Well.
Um,
Yeah, you take the
What is it?
piece of paper. It's just like a tiny little folded slip of paper folded in half, and you can see it's the bottom of a crossword. But in sort of like a prim, deliberate hand, you see written on it 3 words. I remember Aurelian.
That was just double checking. That was Ori's full name, yeah. Is that what I had written down?
Have we heard his full name?
I feel like I have Aurelian written down in my notes somewhere, but I'm not good at remembering things.
Yeah,
Is
she remembers Aurelian
spelled
soul,
the
right?
way
So
like
Ori is Aurry. The name is spelled Aurelian.
I'm gonna be holding it flat between the three of us so that everyone can get a look at the note.
Herod kind of leans over as well.
I'll look up at I'm guessing it was Aery who wrote it. What's going on with her? Is she watching us?
She still appears to be solving a crossword.
Well then.
Melee
I
is
don't have
kind
the
of
word written anywhere.
still standing there. What's it say?
I think we should have a word to your grandmother.
Okay. Do you want me to go get her? I mean, you
She's
could
kind
come
of in
over.
she's kind of in the middle of the room. It would be hard to have a private conversation with her if we went to her.
She's in the corner. She has
She's
like
in
a
the corner?
comfortable corner. Yeah, yeah. Like you could see that she isn't exactly the mobile type.
Yeah.
So her corner is comfortable. There's a bright lamp up on the wall behind her. A couple of chairs sort of distributed around for when people want to go talk to her. But like that's her spot.
I think we should go talk to her
Agreed.
and take Herod with us.
Are there like other little seats? Can we deposit Herod in a seat
Yeah.
so he doesn't be Herody?
Absolutely. Yeah, you walk over to the corner and you see Aria is still there working on a crossword. Melee joins her mother, Yana, who looks up at you and is there a reason you gathered everyone in town together, or are we just here for no reason?
We're running an investigation. We can't really tell you more than that at this point in time.
Well, maybe Mom could help. That would be fun. And kind of looks over at Aria, who again still is just working on the crossword. It's actually a wordle.
Yay! She should be done relatively soon then.
It's one of those weird double letter ones. You can see it's like a word that doesn't make sense.
Remind me, is Area the one that is also mute?
Yes, Area has become nonverbal in age. As far as you remember, she doesn't have anything that's like explicitly wrong with her. She doesn't have like any mental ailment. She's just Oh,
Thoroughly done with everybody's shit.
yes.
Fair enough.
She has passed the Betty White threshold of giving a fuck.
Betty White never gave a fuck.
Exactly.
um, well, I think I'm going to sit. Does the armchair that she's sitting on kind of have like nice big arms, or I could kind of perch myself on the side next to her?
um. Yeah. I would say it does.
Yeah, I'll do that and place the note sort of down on the crossword that she's working on.
Mm.
Um,
She stops, and again, she's still like holding the pen in her gnarled fingers, and is just looking at it, and very slowly, with like a shaky hand, closes the crossword. But she doesn't look up and make eye contact with you.
this is what I'm trying to. I want to get a read on her without prompting much of a reaction. Like, I don't know.
She waits for a moment before flipping open to an already completed crossword, and in the margin begins writing. And it's slow but deliberate. And word by word, the message appears. Um, he didn't remember himself. And Yana kind of leans over. What's that mean, Mom? And Aery doesn't say anything. Yana looks up at the rest of you. What is he didn't remember himself? What does that mean?
Um, Liana, how long has your mother been here?
Um, she's lived in the pot for a majority of her life. She served for 5 or 10 years in intelligence, but she went, served, came back. That's she's always been good at puzzles, and she. Well, I guess there's no harm talking about it now. It's years ago. She was a code breaker. Very good. Um, Still likes to keep her mind busy.
I see. Uh, guys, a word? Can we uh,
Mhm.
step aside?
What does he didn't remember himself mean?
Perhaps another code of your mother's.
Do you know her? Did you work with her?
We'll be right back.
You can see like your caginess is starting to make her concerned. Yeah, you step aside. Herod is sitting on like one of those tiny plastic three-legged stools. His knees are like at his chest, and he's just sitting there enjoying himself. Across from him is Maylee, and she's got like these little tiny teacups.
Mm.
Herod tries to chew on one of the teacups. Sorry, I'm just having headcanon for these people. I don't know what's going on. Go for it.
No, I'm in love with them. All of the flavor text, please. It's wonderful. And I'm going to be so sad when one of them inevitably dies again. Yeah, the second that I'm out of earshot with these two, I'm going to be whispering to them like, okay, you caught that she worked in intelligence, right? And
Yes.
Aery showed up here one day with no recollection of his past life, covered in burns. She remembers Aurelian, but he didn't remember himself. I think she knew him before all of this.
Does seem likely.
She could be the key to figuring all of this out.
We found a note in the. I don't really know what we've called it. That dome thing underground. Wasn't that in code as well? Maybe we could set her with a task.
Well, I mean, she's not going to tell anyone what the secrets are. If she can figure it out, in the very least.
Obviously, we could drill her all day about her connection to Aery, but as sad as it is, Aery is dead. And it might mean that, well, if she's not in trouble, maybe their connection isn't as important for solving it. But we know that she's good at puzzles, and that could help us with this page.
It could, yes, definitely.
Did you bring any of the code with you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did, didn't we? Yeah, that's one of the things that we kept that was fine. It was some of the maps that got fucked up.
Yeah, but we specifically held that in the tin because we thought it would be important.
I can't remember who of us had it, but I know that that was fine. It was because we tried to look at it when we got back and we couldn't read it.
No matter which of us has it, I'm happy with giving it to her to see if she can figure out what it is.
I think
and
that's
also,
a good idea.
Maybe then what I just said is incorrect. If Aery was potentially someone that she worked with, maybe it's the same code that she would have used as a part of this intelligence agency.
In which case, she should solve it very quickly.
Maybe. We can find out. It's not going to hurt.
I mean, if she's willing, I think that's a fantastic idea. I think maybe that could unlock something useful.
I think definitely if she's willing to divulge any additional information about Aery, that might help, but I'm just struggling to see the connection there outside of that. That applies to us right
remember the cavern that we found underwater that was covered in those carvings and stuff where we got all of this information? It's the same carvings that were in Aery's room. So presuming there is some very powerful magic going on that is causing this resetting, it seems like a hell of a coincidence that whatever Aery was involved in is completely unrelated.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So if she knew what Aery was doing, then yeah, she could have quite a bit to tell us.
Okay, I think we go back, we give her the thing. I feel like I should have done this when we went over to have that first conversation, but I'm going to, from the corner, be watching the doors in case anybody's decides to leave or come in.
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and make a perception check for me, and I'll let you make this with advantage, and this will just be like your general baseline.
Okay, that one's a 16. The second one is a 10. So 16 plus 3 for my perception, 19.
Awesome. Write that down.
Just so much better than my actual passive perception. Hooray.
Awesome. So you start checking the 3 doors. You do a quick head count. Everyone is accounted for in the room. Duck is once again in the kitchen, just pouring cups of water over his head. You see Baldo is digging through the pantry looking for something to cook for dinner, and Thrinarv Largegut is helping him. But everyone is there. You head back over to them, and Area again has flipped open her crossword books and is back to working on it. But as you approach, again, she doesn't look up from the book. She doesn't make eye contact. She notices that you approach, and then she just folds the book and closes it over, sort of ready and waiting once again. And Yana looks at the rest of you. So, what's going on?
I think we just, at this point, tell her. I think it would be useful to have her maybe assisting her mother. Maybe she'd learnt some stuff when she was younger, and in the very least, she might be able to keep people away. So, Oriana is going to look at the others and go into the explanation for what, like, the 6th or 7th time that we're in a time loop? Because nobody fucking remembers when we tell them that we're in a time loop.
What do you mean we're in a time loop? Like time is repeating?
Yes.
And it's
This
yeah, it's
single
that
day,
same. Yep.
forever and ever.
Um, is that like the story of the kobold that saw its own shadow and it kept repeating the same day over and over?
If people were dying, it would be very, very similar.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
people
it's
weren't
like the
dying, it would be very
Tom
similar.
Hanks movie Kobold Day. Yes.
Yeah. Murray. Bill Murray.
Bill Murray,
Yes.
oh my god. No, in this reality it's Tom Hanks. That's
Oh my
canon.
gosh.
How does she
Oh
take it?
no. She's a little taken aback by the situation as you explain everything, but you are new and you're able to point out all of the inconsistencies. Like, okay, where were you at 4 p.m.? I was here with all of the other people. Okay, where were you at 3:55? I can't remember. Where were you a week ago? I was with my husband at the Springs. What happened in that week in between? Like you're able to lead her to the conclusion. You've done this conversation enough times before. Um, yeah, you explain the whole situation to her. You catch her up on Aurelian and the notes and the conversations that you're now having with Aery?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense not to, because she's going to be like reading what her mum's writing anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, I wouldn't want to, but I don't think even if we wanted to, we could separate the two of them to keep that a secret. So I think we, with her specifically, maybe not everybody else, just share anything that she asks, really.
Yeah. Um, she is taken aback by the information and is a little concerned by it, but seems to trust that you all are making headway um, with whatever knowledge and information you're hunting for as well. So we're in a time loop. Alexia is killing people. If people die before midnight, which is when all of us die, they don't come back the next day. But on the day that people die before midnight, they remember they're in a time loop. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah,
That's
that's about it.
it's a pretty
Mhm.
good summary.
And as she's saying this, slowly, Aery kind of reaches over and puts a hand on Yana's hand um, during the conversation about dying before midnight. And Yana kind of looks over for a moment and looks a little concerned, and then, oh, oh no, not really. And Aery just kind of squeezes Yana's wrist. Huh. Well, I guess it's a good thing you chased Alexia away from here. Um, really, Mom? And Aery just kind of gives like the slowest of nods.
So we
So,
potentially have two victims if Arya is saying that she remembers as well, and so is Herod. Oh dear.
Oh no.
out of character, because Oriana, I don't think would ever say the words, "Oh dear." Um,
Oh, bother.
oh shit.
um, yeah. So, what's your plan?
Well, we've prevented deaths before. That is generally the plan. Uh, I've just realized Oriana's saying all this stuff while not looking at them because she's observing the rest of the
Watching the
room.
doorways. Yeah, in the beginning, she like was taking note of that and was like, "That's weird." And then as you explain the situation more and more, it was like, "Alexi is killing people, and here's the justification." She's like, "Oh, I get it now." And as you're talking, every now and again, you see Yana can't help but also like just checking, almost like a nervous tick.
But we're hoping that if she comes back, we will either manage to capture her and get some information, or in the process of preventing anybody from dying, maybe break the time loop that way.
Okay. What can we do?
At this point, we would pull out that coded piece of paper that
Awesome.
either Natalie or I have been holding on to. I forget which one of us had it, but yeah,
Sure.
place that in front of area, and I'll say this is what you can do.
So
Can you break this?
I just want to double check. There are 2 coded messages that y'all currently have in your possession. One of them is the one that you got from, excuse me, underwater, along with the maps and like the weird black cloth. Um, the other one was wrapped around the stone in Ori's desk.
They're
I'd
both
forgotten about
related
that
though,
one.
right? Because the coded message had the picture of the rock on it, but then we found out they weren't the same rock.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I guess
I mean,
both of them,
both.
right?
Sure.
Yeah, it's possible she might recognize the code on one and not the code on the other. 'Cause
Yeah.
they weren't exactly the same.
We couldn't
I
read
don't
both of
think.
them, so they might be the same. We
Yeah.
just haven't noticed, or there's like a slight different like cipher for them or something like that. I don't know.
Mm.
Sure. She looks over it and I've done some work with my mom, but this might take us a little bit. Um, we can let you know as we make progress. And as she's saying this, you see Arya sees the 2 like pieces of paper and reaches over and just plucks one, sets it in her lap, and then reaches into the side of the chair and pulls out like a small notebook. And slowly, delicately flips over to like a fresh new page and pulls out her pen and immediately starts writing and taking notes and comparing between the 2. Right, mom's got to work. I'll see about translating the second one, and we'll let you know as we make progress.
Thank you.
As you disengage and let them get to work, you can see Maylee is still having a tea party with Herod. He has from somewhere acquired a monocle that he currently has
No.
on his eye, and he is like successfully sipping from the empty cup like pinky out.
Hmm.
And Maylee is like
Yeah,
super proud of herself for getting Herod to do this. He's like, yes,
I'm
just like
super
that.
proud.
it's impressive. Um, should we each then maybe take up a post at one of the doors and just try to wait out the night?
Pretty much, right?
I
Yeah,
mean, the more
until
we
anything
try to do
changes.
now, yeah, the more we compromise being able to actually catch her.
Yeah.
Yes, until we get further information from either of the codes or something happens. Yeah, kind of just stand guard. Don't let her back in. Don't let anyone out to possibly ruin the plan of nobody dying because they're all inside. And just wait.
Cool. Who
Awesome.
wants to take what door? I feel like Eminence would never say this in character, but Ori should probably take the front because
I would
she's
want to take
most
the
likely
front.
to
Yeah.
come from there. Yeah.
I think 3 doors would be entry, exit, and then the rest of like the door from the rest of the building, correct?
So there were 2 doors to the housing, but one of them leads more directly to the administration office, which I believe is what you said, right, Dee? And then there's the front one that leads to the front.
Sorry, one more time.
So 2 rear doors that lead to the living areas, but also one of
Yeah.
them more directly leads to the administration wing of the
Yes.
place. And
Yeah.
then there's the front one, which obviously leads to the front door.
Yeah. Basically like a large Y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take the admin one because that's the second likely one that she's likely to appear in. And I won't say anything about this because it's just assumed that Eminence is not putting herself on the front lines. If Oriana takes front and you take the other one that leads more to the general living area.
As I take the other door, I'm thinking to myself, never put myself on the front lines. We're each at a door.
Rookie mistake. I feel like there's like that tiny moment where you're like, Eminence, you did it again. Yes. Yeah, the 3 of you head off to separate doors to take up your posts. Can I please get perception checks from the 3 of you? If you would like, you can keep your perception check from earlier, Oriana, because you've basically been watching.
What's my perception check from earlier?
19.
The one when you were watching the
I got
room.
exactly the same. I got another
Perfect.
19. So
Great.
I got an 18.
Hey, Eminence.
Quietly switching dice over here. I got a 5.
Dice
Oh.
jail. I feel like
Dice
you
jail.
end up spending most of the time just watching Duck do various things.
It's so much cuter now that I know he's actually a dog.
I know,
Um,
right?
There's like a linen bag for holding the bread, but he can't open the tie. So you spend like 10 minutes watching him like work the tie to this bag of bread. um, yeah, after about 5 or 10 minutes of keeping watch, Natalie, you are approached by Paranel Serpentwind, who you remember to be the town sheriff. He was the one who was investigating people's disappearances under the direction of Kinsey. He approaches you and keeping watch, huh?
Trying to.
What are you, keeping watch for?
People.
Right, right. It's just that, all of the people are here.
Are they?
Looks at you. Are they?
I asked first, bud.
And that makes my question less valid?
I'm not too sure what your move is over here, but I'm doing what I need to do. You can do what you need to do by watching the people that are in here.
I appreciate that. And I'm trying to do what I need to do. There's not a lot of
Interrogating
crime
me,
here.
or
There's not a lot of crime here in the pot, but sometimes we do get our mix-ups, and I'm trying to figure out as much information as I can. So I can better protect these people. as you've so kindly asked.
Don't know what you need to do to look after people, but sure.
Oh, just prepare for threats. Try to understand the situation better. Right now, you've got about 20 some odd people gathered in one very large room with 3 entrances and exits and 1 person posted at each. But is it only people we need to be worried about? Are there magical effects going on? Is there something else we could use to protect ourselves? You haven't explained what the threat is. You've just gathered us all here.
You're a sheriff, right?
I did say that, yes.
So, when you sit in your place of work and you do your work, when someone who is able to take on a more superior position to you in a particular moment comes in, do you question them?
If they're superior, I don't know. Absolutely.
Then I don't believe that you're as good at your job as what you think you are. Trust me
Are
that
you
we are
saying that I should
doing what we
submit
need to
blindly?
do. I am. In this particular instance, I am, because I've had it about up to here with your negligence.
You have to understand how ridiculous that
I
sounds,
don't
you?
care how ridiculous you think this sounds. This feels great to say. I'm happy to say it. Go back to your group of people, sit down, and watch them, and keep them safe. I
What
trust
is
in the
your
people
name?
around me to know when magical effects and abilities are going to be impacting us and to know how to protect these people better than you currently.
What is your name?
My name is Nargle, and you will leave me be.
Make a deception check.
It's not a deception check.
Nargle?
Nargle is my original name.
He.
I mean, I'm happy to maybe make an intimidation or something, as a
Sure,
charisma
sure.
thing
Why
if
don't,
you
why don't you
want.
make an intimidation check instead?
I don't know, this is gonna completely undermine everything, but that's fine. That's 17, that's alright.
17? He looks doubtful, but he accepts it. Nargle.
I'll keep in mind too, not even looking at him, I am looking down the path.
Oh, yeah.
Not
totally.
even direct eye contact.
He looks down the path as well.
It's like when someone's been told off and they're trying to look real busy, but
No, he's trying to stand there, next to you, looking down the path as well. If you told me what you were looking for, then perhaps I could have helped you to keep watch for it, to protect these people more, to buy you and your strange friends more time to figure out whatever it is you need to figure out. But if you don't want help from people who can offer it, I understand that too. Good luck, Nargle.
I'm just not gonna acknowledge it.
Turns around and walks back over. You can see the other two of you, if you saw this situation at all, you see that both Quinn and Vaughn are waiting in the middle of the room, what'd she say? What'd you guys talk about? What's going on? Yeah, but that is about it. After you thoroughly tell off Paranel, you are not accosted by anyone else.
I would like to
At some
defend
point-
myself a little bit out of character.
Yeah,
That I'm just
absolutely.
very done with the time loop. We have already explained this to him. It's not my fault he keeps forgetting. So
He's in a time loop. You got to Groundhog Day it. You got to find the most efficient way. Your father's name was Marcus. Your daughter's name is Hermione.
yeah.
You were born under the 7th moon. shit like that.
That would have been a good power move. If we don't survive, I'll do that tomorrow and just really
And just learn
insidiously, just like,
details.
yep.
Yeah. You are not accosted for the rest of your watch, which is about another 45 or 50 minutes before Melee runs over to Eminence and says, Mom says we found something.
Oh, um, uh,
Then she runs
from
over. Oh, go ahead.
sorry, from where we're standing, with those two hallways that lead
Yeah.
down to separate areas, like,
Mhm.
are they close enough together that Natalie could feasibly like cover my watch, considering I was doing a real shit job of it anyway?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think I'll gesture to Natalie to like, keep an eye on this door for a while and follow Melee back over to
Yeah.
the
Melee
family.
doesn't even wait for a response. She runs over to Oriana and then says, Mom said to tell you that we found something. And then she
She
says,
just says thanks and like doesn't really move.
okay. And then she goes and runs again the long way back across the room instead of taking the short route between everyone back over to Natalie and then tugs on your arm. Mom says to tell you we found something.
She'll be very sweet to Melee and just smile and thank you before looking back further up the hallway.
She like looks up at you and in that really innocent child way goes, "You're scary."
Thank you.
And then she runs off. Uh, yeah, and looking over, you can see that Yana and Aery are still sort of bent over, but they do have a sheet of paper set aside.
Melee says you found something.
Yeah, you approach. Yana looks up and right. Okay, so it's not really a language per se. It's more a formula that can be used to sort of express different. It's complicated. Here's a rough translation of the one that was all crumpled up. It's kind of like a letter. The other one we're still working on, but we've got some interesting words that I think might interest you. We don't have a sheet of paper or anything for you to share it, but we can sort of walk you through where we're at so far. Um, and as she hands you the other sheet of paper, yeah, you see what looks to be like a short, brief letter written into it.
Okay. So sorry, the stuff that they've deciphered so far is like a mathematical kind of formula.
Yeah, so she was trying to explain how they solved it, and not it's not a complete language. It's a mix between like a conlang and math to explain how she solved it, for lack of a better word. Um,
Uh-huh.
in terms of the actual contents, those are different. The contents of the crumpled up one that was around the stone in Ori's room appears to be a letter. The other one she doesn't have like on a new sheet of paper because they're still actively transcribing it. It is more complicated, but has some interesting concepts that she would like to walk you through as they're translating it. They've got most of it, but they don't
Okay.
have everything.
Okay, cool. I guess I would start by reading the letter that they've managed to decipher.
Yeah. Um, looking at it written out, the letter says Aurelian Arsic. This is your name. This is my name. Our name. Remember the work that you put into this. Remember the work that made you who you are. Remember the work that made you immortal. You may rest, but remember and come back. We have work to do.
Not to be in any way questioning your this word right here. I'm going to point to the word immortal. There's no way that could be perhaps a mistranslation or a.
Mom actually came up with the translation for that. The formula over here tries to divide by 0, and it obviously doesn't work. It doesn't end. It doesn't mean anything. But in context of the greater formula, it means without end. It means unending. It means without a solution. It's quite clever, actually, but you're right. It is also a little concerning.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
As for the other document, it appears to be notes and ideas on time dilation and time anchoring. It appears to be the same handwriting, presumably Ori's or Aurelian's or whatever his name is. But it talks about sort of like a fallback measure. We're still working through it, and even so, this is one page. It's a page of notes. It's not a completed document by any means, but I thought you might find that interesting given the whole time loop situation.
It is certainly relevant. You said some kind of fallback, like a backup plan? I don't quite understand. What gives you that
Yeah.
impression?
Well, the notes are written in such a way that this is something that is meant to be used once and stay in effect, but only triggered under specific circumstances.
Circumstances such as Aurelian's death, perhaps?
But why would you need a fallback if you're immortal? Unless
Indeed.
the fallback is what made him immortal? I don't know. It's we're hoping to get more information out of this, but again, this just seems to be notes, ideas more than anything else.
Well, you're doing well so far. I'm just. Do you need this? Gesturing to the letter that they've completed.
No, we did that on a separate page for you specifically.
Wonderful. Once you finish the other one, if you could copy it to another page as well. I'm going to hold on to this to show the other girls. And what I'm not saying is that I'm going to hold on to it in case something happens with the reset. I want it on one of us, so it comes with us.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you remember that people are reset, but objects are not. So you've got it in your notes, and she agrees to finish copying whatever remaining notes are off of the other page. Yeah, and you head off to gather the rest of your party.
Oh, do I though? Like this
You
is
could always-
really interesting stuff.
You could encourage
but
someone else to keep watch.
I don't trust anyone else. Yeah,
I
this is really interesting, but I don't think it's changing our current plan. And our current plan goes to shit if someone winds up getting killed today. So I'm going to go back to my door, take watch, and
Right.
just kind of maybe make eye contact with Aery because I'm closer to her right now and just do like a sort of thumbs up, like everything's going well kind of non-verbal communication.
So you get this
I will
information and you're just gonna sit
non-verbally
on it?
acknowledge.
Yes, but for the moment, I'm just going to sit on this
Uh-huh. Okay.
and be slightly smug that I know things that they don't.
Checks out.
Not on the front lines. I am the fucking front lines.
Yeah. So you go back to watch. Go ahead and roll a new perception check for me. Just Oriana. The rest of you kept watch, so you're fine. Sorry, Eminence.
You haven't done that in a while.
It's been a minute. Wow.
That's a 9. Still bad at watching. I'm just
a little
back
better.
to. Immediately went back to staring at Duck.
He's got the bread open and he's just with the big loaf just slobbering onto it, like trying to take these big old bites out of it, like he doesn't know what teeth are. And that goes on for all of 2 minutes before Quinn runs over like, hey, oh, that's our bread. Oh, Duck. And just runs over and like takes it from him and carves out the bit that has been slobbered on and gives it to him and sticks the rest away.
I so badly want to just turn Duck back into a duck, but I really don't think that's going to go well at this point in time. We definitely didn't make the best first impression on management. Don't want to start turning their patients into animals.
Yeah. Would be great if you did it like just before the reset.
Yeah.
So people would be like, where's Duck? How'd this duck get here?
That is actually my plan.
Oh my gosh.
Because if they don't know that we're like around, they can't blame us.
Nobody remembers who you are.
Yeah,
How can you commit a crime?
exactly. It's not a crime.
If there's nobody there to remember it, it's not a crime.
It wouldn't be a crime at all to turn the duck man back into a duck.
According to the truth, that's not a crime. However, I'm pretty sure they would see it as a crime as you turned a full-grown adult into a duck.
Yes, which is why I'm going to do it at the very end of the day. Hopefully when nobody's looking, they're not going to remember that I turned a grown man into a duck. And I'm technically turning a grown man who was transformed into a duck back into a duck because he's obviously not happy being a man. He wants to be a duck. I'm fixing a crime.
I agree.
Very out of
However,
character.
the law ain't going to see you like that.
Yeah.
Fuck the law.
What the law doesn't see is none of its business.
A negative crime.
Exactly. It means I can do one more crime later and not have it. Oriana doesn't have a conscience. I was going to say, and I won't have it weighing on my conscience. I unbreak a law. I get a free one later.
As someone who who grew up in hell, checks out. Yeah.
Mhm.
Every act has its price. And you're just preemptively paying the price for an act you haven't committed yet.
Mhm. Yeah. That's exactly what's going on.
Yeah. Somewhere dear old dad is grinning happily. Anyways.
Oh my god, we should try and contact our father.
Unhappy?
We did have that thought right at the start, right? Where like, if this goes really tits up, we can try to contact our father.
Yeah.
But wasn't there
'Cause
the
this would have
thought
to
that
be
he
some
would potentially only be able
powerful-
to save you guys, and then it doesn't help anything?
I mean,
Right?
I could
we
banish
managed to
you back
take-
to your normal plane of existence. We haven't tested that yet, but since this isn't your normal plane of existence, we know this is another plane. If I banish you, you should stay there. And then he can yeet us back out, although he might not yeet me because he's mad.
Have we officially
Constantly.
confirmed it's even a different plane, though?
Yeah,
We've
I'm
only
sure
confirmed that
we
it's a
had.
different time. We haven't confirmed that it's a different plane. And only that anything that happens in the same plane doesn't work. Like, with
Kind of
wasn't the scrying and stuff?
unofficially, yeah, because when I scried in the first time when we were looking for the mother-daughter, after that was done, Dee was like, "Oh, you shouldn't have been able to do that because you're not supposed to be able to see different planes."
Yeah.
So we kind of know, but also out of character, we don't exactly know. We've kind of just decided based on that, which probably shouldn't have done that, honestly. But I
It's
mean, at this
magic.
point in time, it does make sense that it would be
Yeah.
a different plane of existence.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey magic stuff.
Yeah.
Hang on, I gotta go let my cat in.
Seems like there is some pet stresses going on right now.
Yeah.
Does anyone want a dog? I swear to
Yes!
God, she has been the worst these past 2 days.
Oh,
She's been very needy.
She's real cute. You just have to put up with having essentially a needy toddler for the rest of your life.
Hold on, the webcam is on the move. Sleepy kitten.
Oh,
Sleepy kitty.
Oh, the
the
ear
ear
flicks.
twitches.
Yeah.
Well, since everybody has their pets, I feel like I should say mine just fucking abandoned me as soon as we started talking about animals. She's gone.
The pet conversation.
The pet conversation. Everybody
Yes.
gets a pet. I don't.
Oh yeah, we do have 2 dogs, 2 cats in the campaign right now, I guess.
There's balance in the universe.
Yes. Yeah, so you go back to your post, getting back to D&D. You sit less distracted but still distracted. 10 minutes pass. 30. An hour. You reckon at this point it is getting to be a little bit closer towards late evening. Oriana, you see that the sun has set outside. And maybe about an hour or so after sunset, Oriana, you see a figure. Maybe 40, 50 feet out past the edge of the cave entrance to Ridden's Dredge that you immediately recognize as the female halfling Alexia.
She like approaching quickly.
Not approaching at all.
Oh, she's just standing there? Oh.
She's just standing there, ominously.
Oh, good. What's my best ranged spell? It's just fucking kill her. No, I'm not gonna do that. Since I can see her. I just want to, before I don't know how this would work. I want to kind of make sure.
Speaking
My
of
dog came
animals.
back.
Yeah.
Honey, can you just for a second? I kind of want to make sure that she is actually like a person and not like a distraction before I call the others over from their doors. If she's just standing there and she's not moving, can I like what would it be? Like an insight check to make sure that I'm not being like tricked? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, like perception or investigation.
Okay. I was like scrolling through my spells. I have detect magic, but it doesn't go far enough. Like, okay, yeah, that works. That is an 18 plus perception or investigation. Look, I feel like investigation works better, but my perception is higher. I'm going to go with investigation because I think it makes more sense.
Sure.
And it's a pretty high roll anyway, so it's going to be a 19. I don't want to
Investigation.
put it in
Yes.
my advantage
So
just because I want to.
yeah, you see that her hair and clothes are rippling a little bit with the wind that is blowing by. So if it is an illusion, it's a very good one.
Okay.
You see from 50, 60 feet away in the dark. Yeah, she appears to be human, solid, moving, or
She appears to
halfling,
be
I guess.
human. That would be a problem.
Yeah. Solid breathing.
Yeah.
Kind of tough to tell.
I'm going to keep an eye on her and just kind of summon over probably Eminence because Natalie's going to be more useful to watch two doors. I'm so sorry, but it's true. and she can also go back over there and pass on the information. Just be
Mhm.
like, "Oh look, a murderer."
So you go and you get your sister.
Well, I'm hoping Eminence will come to me. I'm trying to wave her over, but she's stubborn sometimes.
I mean, with my perception checks, I imagine that you wave and wave and wave and then eventually just shout at me and I'll head on over.
Hey. Yeah, you head over. You see the same thing when you get to the doorway.
Oh, that's creepy.
It's incredibly creepy.
Should we just...
I was considering it. Do you think that would work?
I mean...
Before we do anything, if you could let Natalie know what's going on.
All right. I'll kind of go back, be messenger, tell her, like, there definitely appears to be Alexia standing out there. She's just standing there. She's not coming any closer. Definitely looks like a trap. We're debating whether we just shoot her where she stands. I suppose it's up to you if you keep monitoring these doors, but it's looking very much like a trap.
Well, if it's looking like a trap, then there is no reason for me to move. And if you choose to shoot her, she'll either die or the illusion will be revealed.
Our thoughts precisely. And I head back over, communicate that Nat is pro, shoot her in the face.
Excellent.
Yeah.
As you get over there, back into the silhouetted light of the doorway, you see that Alexia seems to recognize your silhouette and gives like a little wave.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna wave back.
Mhm.
Specifically, she recognized me. Like she didn't wave at Oriana.
Yeah.
I just something about we're missing something. Why does she keep? Is she just trying to throw me off? Like why does she keep doing that?
I have literally no idea. Maybe you remind her of someone.
Maybe she's just mocking me.
She could be just trying to confuse us.
Do I still have the knife that I stabbed her with? She stabbed herself with? Because that's different
I
than the magical knife that she
The-
attacked Natalie with.
That was in Evelyn.
Yes, it was.
Wasn't she sliced though? She was sliced. Her neck was sliced. It wasn't that she was stabbed. She was sliced, right?
have a knife. I have it in my boot because when we reset this time loop today, I was holding it. And one of the things that the first person we saw was, it's like, they're going for a walk. She has a knife. And so I stuck it in my boot and I was like, what knife? So I have a knife. I don't know which knife it is. I think it was that
Mm.
one.
I think it was because wasn't it that I dropped the knife in shock. It was lying on the floor. Alexia managed to use it to
Yeah.
stab Evelyn, and you grabbed that knife that she used right before, like as the ground started to shake, because you're like, shit, don't want to let that go.
Yeah, my notes
Yeah, I think
specifically
that's
just say
the
it's a knife with a distinctive handle that apparently means nothing.
That's the one. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, so
Okay.
we do have that knife. I'm happy to hand it over.
Yeah, I'll be like, hey, you still got that knife?
Pull it out of my
And
boot.
yeah, I'm just gonna kind of hold it up in one hand and wave again in the other.
Yeah. She waves, and as she does, you see she reaches to the side and pulls out her own knife, kind of holds it off a little to the distance. And it's not a knife that you recognize. It doesn't seem. It's kind of interesting. It's dark, and she is 50 feet away from the entrance. You don't see a knife so much as you see the absence of light or shadow beyond it. It's like the silhouette of a knife.
Hmm. I was trying to be creepy, but she's out creepied me again.
She has.
I like to imagine the two of you say that aloud. Just sisterly tiefling conversation.
Oh yeah. That's what we're muttering to each other.
She creepier than me right now? I think so. Damn.
Well, I'm gonna prepare like Eldritch Blast and hold like a ball of energy in my hands and just kind of look at Oriana like, shall we?
Yeah, I think we probably should step outside, close the door so nobody's watching us.
There is no door.
I thought I was standing in the
Oh,
door.
it's just
No,
a
it's the doorway because
Oh,
it's built
right,
into the caves.
doorway.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Hey, look, it hadn't even occurred to me.
Yeah. Well, regardless of that, this is, I think, the first time I've actually used this spell. I am going to cast Spirit Guardians. So if she does decide to yeet in and come try and grab me, she'll take a bit of damage.
You cast
Technically,
Spirit Guardians on yourself?
I think it can only be on myself. Can it? Yeah. Yeah.
Let me go to the spell text.
I mean, it doesn't
think-
specifically say, but it says there's spirits that are called forth
Range
to protect
self. Yep.
you.
Range of self. Yeah, yeah.
I think that's
Weirdly,
the
mine
opposite
says
to
the
mine,
range is
which
15
is
feet.
not me.
But yeah, I will cast that on myself.
The
I am.
moment you do, Alexia turns and bolts and starts running off into the night.
Can I let go of that Eldritch Blast at her?
Yeah, go ahead and take an attack roll.
I'm actually going to do this in D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond.
So the first blast is a 26.
26 hits.
The second is a 26.
Hey, 2
Ooh.
hits.
That is 10, 21 damage total.
21 damage. Nice. The first blast catches her square in the back, and she continues running. The second blast kind of clips her shoulder as she keeps on running, and then she kind of slows a little bit and stops and turns and looks back, and you swear, even from this distance, you can just make out like she looks like wounded, like not like, oh, this hurts, but like, why? And then she turns back into the night and starts running.
Look, this is a terrible fucking idea. However, I'm going to yell at Mr. Cop to watch the door. I'm going to yell at Natalie to come with, and I'm gonna fucking chase her.
Yeah, if you are, I am. That's a bad idea. But I am sure that look. I'm so confused.
Hey, I
We're
also.
a few days of time loop in. Like, I think Natalie started yelling at the police. We're all getting a little bit frustrated, and I just want to kill her.
I'm happy to also try and throw javelins. They
Yeah.
have a disadvantage range of 120 feet, so I'm happy to run and follow after because I can only need one hand for those, sadly.
Yeah. So she basically tried to run and dash. So she's running. To catch up, you would need to run and dash to try and keep pace with her.
Actually,
Actually,
I'm gonna misty step myself right in front of her. Is she 30 feet away from us or more?
she was more. So she was about 50 feet away from the entrance.
Okay. Can I, in this turn, like dash and then like bonus action maybe or something, misty step? Like, is there a way that I can physically get in front of her?
Sure. We'll say this is all kind of happening at once, and as you do this, we'll resolve initiative. So you like quickly dash and misty step, and are you trying to get in pace with her, or are you trying to get
I'm
in
trying
range
to
of her?
appear in front of her, facing her.
Yeah, so you basically like catch her in the arm, in the shoulder, and she turns back and gives you the look, and then you very quickly run forward and try to quick burst of speed before she manages to get further away, and you appear right in front of her. We'll say that you are 60 feet away from the entrance of Ridden's Dredge, that she is 55 feet away from the entrance. Oriana, you are at the entrance, and Natalie, you are 30 feet inside of Ridden's Dredge. So you're a total of 90 feet away from Alexia. With that and everyone's positions, let's roll initiative.
Do you know if I press my initiative, I still have to roll it twice, don't I? Because it's if I have advantage on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll roll it twice then. Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
I just didn't know if it like automatically calculated an advantage when you do it, but I don't think it does.
Cool. So I've got the D&D Beyond encounter runner thing, and when you ran and rolled initiative on your character sheet, it populated in the tool.
Oh, sick. Cool. Very useful.
Oriana, Eminence initiative.
16.
15.
16. Eminence 15. Awesome. What is your dex bonus, Natalie?
+2.
+2? Okay, that means that
Oh wait,
Alexia.
is that right? I think that's right. Let me just double check. Yeah, it is +2. Yeah.
Okay, Alexia is going first. And she is right there in front of you, Natalie. Sorry, Eminence.
This may also be relevant to what she decides to do. I have appeared with my hands up in sort of a like, whoa, kind of chill.
I attacked you, teleported in front of you, and now I'm surrendering.
Yeah, look, just telling you what I'm doing. I have plans.
There is, again, as you appear in front of her, you can just like make out in the shadow that like look of like hurt, and then you appear in front of her, and she is just like surprised to see you there. And as you appear there, just on reflex, she is going to take an attack against you with her dagger. And you can see now that you're close to it, it's not just a silhouette, like it is an actual physical dagger. But as she brandishes it out, ready to swipe at you, you see that it doesn't quite reflect light the same way that you think it should. So that is that's cocked. 12 to hit, and on her second attack, an unnatural 20 to hit.
Oof. Okay. So my AC is 12, which means it does hit, right?
Yes. So both of those
Yeah,
hit?
2 hits. Yep.
Okay. Ah! Okay. Knocked. Okay. That is 17 points of slashing damage
Okay.
and 21 points of psychic damage.
Oh! Okay!
And I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. 10.
10. As she swipes against you, you've got your arms up, like in panic. You bring one of your hands in the way to sort of take the hit as she just gouges the blade through you. Immediately, you feel like this, like tearing sensation in your mind, like your very soul is being carved at by this blade. And as you kind of stumble back, reeling from that initial hit, um, you still go back to like hold up your hands again, and your left hand is completely limp, unable to move at all.
Oh no. I wasn't planning to do this, but taking that much damage and feeling that kind of like something is very wrong with this blade, I'm almost reflexively going to hellish rebuke that.
Yeah, go for it.
So with the hand that can move, I'm pointing.
Yeah.
Now that is a dex save for her of 16.
Okay. That is 21.
Maybe I try to point with the hand that no longer works, and I'm like, ah!
A little spark of flame just kind of crackles. You see, at first she's like just as surprised that you're there, and then hurts you, sees you do like the try to counterattack thing, and as you kind of like try and fail with the counterattack, she begins to smile a little bit. She seems to look like she's enjoying this a bit. But she will run around you and get to the other side of you. And she probably goes about maybe 10 or 15 more feet. You do get an opportunity attack, though. Oh, no, you just used your reaction, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, no, sorry. Awesome. Great. Natalie.
I'm going to run outside because 30 feet left of the room, and then 10 feet out is my full 40 feet of movement.
Yep, that puts you 50 feet away from Eminence.
Yep. And then they're 65 feet then, if they're 15 feet from
Yes.
Eminence. Yeah, cool. I'm going to throw a javelin because I know what that knife does. I know exactly what's just happened to Eminence.
With
but
which hand?
Firstly, I will rage.
Okay.
Bonus action rage. And I'm pretty sure it was my, I want to say right hand that got, I'm going to know which hand is not working.
Obviously.
So the other one. But because it's past the 30 foot of range, it is with disadvantage, but I'll do actually, can I do that with, let me just double check if I can actually do that with, I was going to do, reckless, but I don't know if I can do that with a. I think that might only be melee weapons. So let me just double check. Oh no, first attack on your turn. Yeah. Oh no, giving advantage on melee weapon attacks. So no, it would just be with disadvantage.
Okay.
I think just roll my dice twice. Yeah.
Roll the dice.
So first is a 19, second is a 21. So 19's better than 21.
19. 19 hits. Let's get damage.
That's a 6 plus 4, but then also plus 3 for the rage. So 13.
Oh, 13. Nice. She turns and runs. You can see that, like in the chaos, you just saw her slash Emmy and run around, and you just immediately like, what? Olympic style javelin throw. You actually lose sight of the javelin in the air because it is nighttime. It's just you hear the whistling and you're like, come on. And you just see it catch Alexia like right on the side of the leg as she's running, and she kind of stumbles a little bit as the javelin passes by and sticks into the dirt. Anything else?
That's all I can do. I can only
Awesome.
make 2 attacks per action if it's melee attacks, so at least I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. It doesn't say it specifically, but I think that's the thing.
Is this a feature?
I think it's
Multi-attack?
just
Extra attack. Extra attack, PHB. Beginning at 5th level, you can attack twice instead of once whenever you take the attack action.
Oh, well, I mean, if I can take another one, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, go for
I'll
it.
do another javelin. I only have 6 of them, so this isn't going to happen very often. But
yeah, rolling well so far.
yeah, watch that change. So 14's the lowest.
14 is not going to hit. You throw the first one and don't even like wait to see if the first one hits. You just grab another and throw it. Because the first one hit, Alexia stumbled a step. If you hadn't hit her, the second one would have hit. But because you were already so good with the first, the second javelin just whistles right by and sticks into the dirt. Yes.
Am I 60
anything
feet
else?
from... No, 50 feet from Eminence, aren't I?
6. Yes.
But 65 from her. Yeah,
Correct.
Cool. Excellent. Good to know. That's all
Awesome.
I can do. I can't do anything else.
Oriana.
Okay. If I had already started chasing, how far away from Eminence and Alexia am I?
I would say by the time we rolled initiative and started actual combat, if you started chasing right when Emmy like teleported forward, you could have gotten half your move. So you were 60 feet away from Emmy, so minus half of your move. What's your movement?
30.
I see your movement speed is 20 feet.
Is it?
In D&D Beyond, it's showing up like that.
It's
Oh, do you
30
have
on mine. I might have encumbrance turned on, which I
heavy
don't know if
armor
I'm
or
supposed
something?
to, but I've got the heavy armor. So that might be it. So maybe it's 10. Which means
Yeah,
Did you have
we haven't been
encumbrance
doing
with heavy armor?
we haven't been doing encumbrance. We shouldn't be doing encumbrance. I don't think
Yeah,
I
there's
thought
maybe-
encumbrance was just when you hold too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do not know.
Yeah, we'll give you your full move speed right now.
Okay. So is that 20 or is that 30?
Yeah, you've got encumbrance set in D&D
great.
Beyond. I just set it real quick to turn it off.
Thanks. Okay.
There you
Cool.
go.
I'd never noticed that before. Because I don't use that one quite so often as I use this one. I will run that extra distance, and then I am going to, because that's not going to get me all the way to Eminence, so I can't
That's
really help.
15. Yeah. So you're 45 feet away from Emmy,
Mhm.
which means you're 60 feet away from Alexia.
Perfect. I am going to use my bonus action to cast my spiritual weapon right next to her.
Okay.
And then, actually, what's going to do worse? No, actually, I think I'm just going to toll the dead at the bitch. So it's a
Classic crowd favorite.
wisdom saving throw from Alexia.
Awesome. This modifier. 19.
Ow. Rude. She definitely passes that. And I'm pretty sure that doesn't do anything if she succeeds. Yeah, nah. It does nothing.
Okay. Ah.
So that's my action. I think technically I could still cast spiritual weapon, but I can't use the bonus action to hit her, and then it doesn't move very far next time, so there's not much point doing that at this point in time. No, I'm just going to, I don't know, keep an eye on her as she fucks off.
Awesome. Great. That brings us to Eminence.
Um, I actually think I am going to use my turn not to cast anything or try to hit her, but to shout at her. And I'm going to say, you could have just killed me. We've tried this twice already. I got you, you got me. Want to try a third time and talk?
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Pretty persuasive. First roll was good.
Wow.
Nah,
Oh.
last roll was shit. That's still an 11 though.
Yeah. You can see that she still seems to be set on running. She's kind of like doing that run limp from where the javelin slashed her leg, and she has one hand up to her ear from where the toll the dead sort of rang out, and though it was ineffectual, it still seemed to have an effect on her. She glances back at you, and there is like a passing understanding, but she doesn't stop.
In that time that we're making eye contact, do I have time to say, see you tomorrow?
I imagine you like say that like as she's turning around, and with one arm she kind of like raises and waves a little bit. But if that's all you're gonna do for your turn,
Yep, it is.
awesome. Alexia is going to run and dash her full speed towards the pot, and that's all she's gonna do. So Natalie.
We believe, to the best of our knowledge, that everyone else is here. So short of killing herself, I'm happy to just turn around and walk back inside and just make sure that nothing's happened since we ran out.
Yeah. Totally.
Obviously, like, making sure that Eminence is not fucking, like, bleeding out on the street, but because I'm the closest, I figure that Oriana can take care of that.
Yes. Also, you let your initiative run out, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Or, like, if you want to say for initiative purposes, use my movement to go back inside, and I'll ready an action in case someone comes in, but
Sure.
that's if that happens.
I'm just doing final checks.
Mm.
Oriana?
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab Eminence.
Okay.
With Alexia running away, I think she'll be further than 60 feet from me at this point in time, so I can't even try and zap her. Uh, but I wish I could.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna send a cantrip in her direction. I'm gonna Sacred Flame just so that she knows that I'm pissed. I know it's not gonna hit her, but it's a cantrip. So I'm just gonna send it after her into the dark.
Yeah,
And I'm
absolutely.
gonna grab Emmy and I'm gonna help her back inside.
Your little zappy lightning bolt just kind of scatters across the ground. Awesome. Yeah. Alexia runs off into the dark, and the three of you reconvene back at the entrance to Ridden's Dredge. One of you now with a limp arm. Two of you now with limp arms.
Yeah, I like to think that as I reconvene with Nat, the first thing I say is, well, the good news is now we match.
I think this is potentially the first time that, considering the kind of mental state Natalie is at the moment, I think she's actually really pissed with Eminence. So I don't actually think she'll say anything. She'll just go back to her post. Even if there is no threat of actual, like, danger necessarily, it's more of a, I need to walk out of this situation before I explode at you right now. She knows that she's safe with her, but yeah, she's just going to walk off.
Yeah, turn to Ori and be like, what did I do?
You know how we were talking about you being frontline and how you're not really frontline?
And mm-hmm.
That was a terrible decision and she's mad. I understand why you did it, but it was a terrible decision and I am also not pleased. And I'm going to give her like cure wounds at, I think I'm gonna do it at 4th level as we're having this discussion. But
I love that you're healing me as you chastise me.
It's the true cleric
siblings.
thing.
I don't think that's the first time this has happened in this campaign.
It
It's
won't be the last.
No, it won't be. 8, 7, 4, 2. You get 21 points back at this. 21 plus 3, so 24.
Thank you.
Awesome. The wound closes up, but your hand remains limp.
Okay. I was also about to storm off because they're mad at me, which makes me mad at them because fuck those guys. But seeing as Ori just healed me, I think I'm going to take a deep breath and say that it's worth telling Natalie when she's willing to talk that she wasn't trying to kill me. And she could have kept trying to hurt me and she ran. I have no idea what's going on here, but I just acquired us intel.
Oriana's probably like still holding her arm after healing her, and she's just like, are you certain it was worth it?
Guess we'll find out tomorrow.
I'm gonna like attempt to deposit her in a chair and go back to staring outside. Just like take a rest. Probably don't go stand next to Natalie.
I
Need some
imagine you
alone
end
time.
up next to a little plastic tripod stool between Herod and Melee.
Oh,
With your limp arm.
does Herod try to give me a little cup of tea?
Melee does. Herod is chewing on what looks like I know plastic doesn't exist in D&D, but like a little plastic baguette. He's just like chewing on it.
I'm going to
Plastic can exist
try
in
to
D&D
look
all you
very
like.
disdainful, but take the little teacup by its tiny little handle and just sort of hold it.
Um, a short while later, maybe a couple of minutes later, Thrinarv walks over to you, Eminence, and you see he's got an actual pot of tea, like hot steaming tea. And I see everyone's in a bit of a disagreement over some things that are happening. Tea? And Melee says, yes, please. And he says, you can have water.
I'll just nod for
Yeah.
tea, please.
And he kind of looks at Melee, Herod, and yourself sitting on the plastic little chairs and reaches behind him and pulls up like an actual wooden chair, the half giant that sits down, and his knees still come up to his chest because he is enormous. So the three of you are sitting around in front of Melee while she's just happily having a great time, looking gigantic. And he pours into your little plastic teacup. He pours you a little bit of tea. I've got an actual teacup if you would like it.
Yes, would you
Yeah.
mind getting it? And I'll gesture to my useless arm. As he turns around, I would like to hand Melee my little cup of tea.
Okay, yeah. She takes it and looks at you and just kind of. And Herod with the baguette goes. Comes back around with an actual saucer and cup, and for a moment he thinks of like offering it to you, and then he holds it himself, pours it, and then sets it down on the ground just in front of you so you can reach and take the cup off of the saucer without making any spills or anything.
Thank you, Thornov.
Yeah. Herod takes the other little plastic teacup, so now he has a little plastic teacup in both hands. He's just double fisting. So, seems like things are a bit rough.
Well, apparently, no matter what I do, I'm not any help. If I try to fight, then they blame me for it because apparently I'm not good enough at it. And if I don't try to fight, then they blame me for it because I'm not being helpful.
Why do you think they hate you for fighting?
Oh, I don't think they hate me for fighting. I just think they judge me every time I take a hit.
Do you think that they think more or less of you whether or not you take a hit? Or
I mean,
do
have
you
you
think,
seen them?
oh, I have, it's very impressive. But maybe instead of judging you for being hit, they're concerned or worried. I don't mean to be overstepping my bounds, but I honestly wouldn't try to take Natalie down with a wood axe if she were a tree in the forest I were hired to do. She would destroy me. And Oriana over there has enough armor to keep a whole battalion safe. You, meanwhile, your dress is beautiful, but maybe not so practical.
I'm just going to take a sip of my tea.
Just long sip.
If I'm processing that, I don't want to show it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thurnarv kind of senses the situation a little bit and right. I mean, Herod here is Mr. Sticky Fingers. Sometimes in more ways than one, which is concerning in and of itself, but the reason we let him run around is because we know that whatever trouble he gets into, we're here to take care of him. He's part of our family. Even if we're not always in town. So we worry about him. And Herod is still just double fisting the little tiny plastic teacups, having a blast. That isn't to say Herod isn't a hassle, but it's part of what makes us care about him.
I think the metaphor is getting away from you somewhat.
I don't know what metaphor you're talking about.
I'm just going to kind of like look at Herod for a really long time. Like, I'm the Herod.
That's the takeaway.
I mean, he brought it up.
Oh boy. He tried to oh my god. Anyways, yeah. So what have you three found out? I don't know about you, but at midnight whenever we die and keep resetting, it's pretty traumatic. And Melee's like, "What?" And he's like, don't worry about it."
Oh, that poor little girl. Yeah, remind me, does Threnov have any recollection at this point of
Yeah,
what's been
yeah,
going
yeah.
on? Yeah, because
He
we've told
remembers
him.
everything.
And yeah.
No, he remembers everything.
That's right. Did we figure out why that is? It's not like he was one of the ones that was going to die. Weird. As a matter of fact, there's quite a lot of new information. Aery was not who he appeared to be, but I don't think he realized it. Who he was before he lost his memories and appeared to you guys seems to be entirely tied up in what's going on here.
That's would not have seen that coming.
Really?
I mean, he's harmless. He's mostly harmless. Huh.
Anyway, I suppose I should tell the others about that. I don't know what the plan is for the rest of the night, whether we're presuming she will come back or what.
I could take a watch for a bit if the three of you wanted to put your heads together.
Perhaps suggest it to the girls, see what they have to say. I'll be with Area if they do want to talk.
Hmm.
I'm going to get up and head over to where Area is sitting and see if she and Yana have made any more progress on that second note.
Yeah. They have, but this second page again is more like journal scribblings for ideas, and worked out half formulas. So a lot of what she told you has been the main content of the page. The rest of it is things like magical potency and making sure that it works under this circumstance and all of that.
Mm.
Awesome. Renarv will get up, walk across the room over to Eminence.
Do you mean Oriana?
Damn
It's been a while since we've done
it.
that.
It's been a while. Oriana. Why? I don't know. Why my brain. I think the fact that I've continued to get it wrong so many times has like cemented different layers of like understanding.
I
Anyways,
absolutely. I have a very common problem where when I'm driving somewhere, if I get lost going there more than once, I get lost that exact same way every time, and it's the only way I can get there because I
Yep.
have to be in the place that I'm wrong about before I can find the place that I'm right
before you
about.
remember that, yeah.
Mhm.
And then it just layers on top of itself. Okay, anyways, it goes over to Oriana in the doorway. Steaming saucer of tea. There's a teacup on it, obviously. It's not just like a saucer. Um, tea?
No, thank you.
All right.
I appreciate the offer, but no, thank you.
I hear there's a little difficulty with the party.
Just a tad.
Hmm. Do you want me to keep watch for a bit while the three of you put your heads together?
I guess you can throw some tea at her if she shows back up.
Which her?
Oh, I've forgotten all names that exist. Alexia.
No, I'm gonna yell for you. That's.
Also a solid plan.
I also have. He reaches behind him and pulls out Natalie's hand axe. I don't think it'll do much if the two of them, well, the whole hand thing, but it'll buy time.
True. Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Hmm. I can go tell Natalie and then let you gather on your own if that's
I would appreciate that. If Natalie doesn't want to talk quite yet, we can wait.
right. And heads back into the kitchen for a moment before heading over to Natalie. How's the watch?
Nothing yet.
Hmm.
Nothing I could see.
Tea?
Not right now. I'm watching.
All right. Ale?
Not right now. I'm watching.
Right. I've spoken with the others. They caught me up on some things. If you'd like, I can take watch for you.
I appreciate
For
that, but you
a
can't
short
watch 3
while.
entrances at once. I'm happy to stay here. They're welcome to come over here and speak with me if they'd like. It's not
Sounds fair.
meaning to degrade your eyesight or anything, just it's going to be more
No,
efficient if we're
of
all
course,
watching
of course.
the
I mean,
exits.
honestly, if I just kind of sit down in the front entrance, I'll block off half the damn thing. So it's a better idea.
It's very efficient. Very good.
Yeah. Sure, I can get you like a snack or like some jerky.
I don't need to eat. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. And he goes back into the kitchen and drops off his kettle, saucer, mead, jerky. Heads back out into the room and makes eye contact with Ori and Emmy and kind of nods and motions over to Natalie before heading back over to the front entrance where he pulls up a stool and plunks down, looking out into the night.
Yeah, once he's taken over Ori's watch, I guess, she'll just kind of go over to Eminence and like put a hand on her shoulder and like as motion towards Natalie, like, obviously we have to go over there. Not how things usually work in this family. Making accommodations for other people.
Yeah, I feel like I was all prepared to be like, well, fuck her. She's not going to come over here, then I'm not going to go over there. But with Ori as well, and the physical contact is very unusual in this family. So all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, this is serious.
Exactly why I collected you.
I will not be able to refrain from rolling my eyes as I stand up, but let's head over to where Natalie is.
You do that.
Yeah, I'm just standing at the entrance to like the one that's looking down to the admin office. Because we know that the admin office has a secret laundry department that is a potential security risk. We love that.
Yeah. Just a fun water slide that could be used by an assassin as an entrance. No big deal.
She won't say anything as you go over. Just continue staring out the door like she did when Thrinov was there.
I will go and stand next to her, not like uncomfortably close, but like very similar to what Perenelle did earlier, like standing beside her, kind of also staring in the same direction. Keeping watch with her. Just in that real awkward way where it's like, okay, who's gonna talk?
And I am very happy to not talk, so we can just stare out here forever.
Yeah, Natalie is not gonna break this.
I feel like
In
unfortunately Oriana is maybe the least petty, so she's gonna have to do it. She'll give it a moment. They can stand there in silence. Like, probably deserve a little bit of awkwardness here. Then she's gonna say, I think we can all agree that was maybe not the best course of action. I think we're all getting incredibly frustrated at not exactly the lack of progress, but the lack of resolution here. It's very unfortunate we didn't get her. It's I guess now we just hope that if nobody dies, time loop resets.
That is our mission, is to ensure that no one dies. It wasn't to kill her, so her leaving is not a terrible thing.
Yes. Maybe tomorrow, if we get a chance, she might have information. She might be willing to talk. I know it doesn't seem like it, but that is twice now that she has done something that indicates that she's not willing to kill us outright.
I understand that she had an opportunity to kill you, but she also would have been unwise to do so if her plan was to kill you. She can kill you by keeping you here. By not killing you, she's ensuring that you don't become a martyr and have the rest of us sent after you in order for her to be killed in the end. By not killing you, she keeps you here, worried, and not with a foot ahead. Tactically,
I suppose, but
it's the best thing for her to do, is to not kill you.
even though she's perfectly willing to kill all the rest of the residents.
We don't know why she's killing people, but we do have a suspicion that she's only killing one, and it's for a certain purpose. She can play with her food before she kills it.
I don't think that's what she's doing.
And you can think that. I don't think you're wrong. I just don't think that we know what's right.
Well, on that we can agree.
Because if tonight doesn't work, I have no ideas.
Now might be a slightly awkward time to bring up that while not a new idea, we do have some new information from Aery, and I'm going to bring out the letter from earlier and probably just hand it over to Natalie and let her read it. And I don't know if Ori will choose to also read it or then have it handed to Ori, but
Natalie
just
can't
pass
read.
that information around.
Yeah, I'm going to take that page, I'm going to look at it,
Hand
and
it
I'm
to
going to look
Natalie
back
to
at
read it.
her, and I'm just going to give it straight back. Actually, you know what? I think even I'll pretend to read it.
You what is it? Aery was teaching you to read a little bit, was it?
Aery was teaching me a little. Oriana said that she'd teach me a little, but we haven't had an opportunity really to actually sit down to properly do it.
Yeah.
But I think it's more at this point a method of trying not to scream and just using it as I'm going to distract myself by reading these curly shapes and hoping that I don't lose my mind.
Because I'm not I am avoiding eye contact with Natalie because this is already awkward. So I don't think I'm going to notice the fuck up. It's up to Ori to step in and read this note.
I like to imagine you're standing shoulder to shoulder, side by side, just just don't look.
I don't even think it's yeah. I think to the best of her abilities too, wouldn't even be a crack on her face as much as she can possibly try. So
I think it would do more harm than good to point out the fact that she's just given a letter to someone who can't read. So I'm going to patiently wait until Natalie has finished reading the letter and pass it on to me.
yeah, I'll turn around eventually to Oriana and just say, unfortunately, I can't see any leads in this. I won't even address it. It's just
rude.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that might actually, let's see if that cracks me. It doesn't! Okay, there we go. That's good. I was like, I don't know what Oriana would do in this situation. I succeeded my not gonna fuck this up roll. Gonna, like, tilt her head a little bit, incredulously, and then take the note and read through it.
Mm.
You
It is,
hear the loud
again,
kitchen
much the
noises,
same
sorry.
content. Aurelian, Archik, wake up, we have work to do, yada yada.
Hmm. How is this a lead? Like, he's gone! How is this helpful? Uh, obviously out of character. But Oriana is going to be definitely kind of thinking about the same kind of thing, like, not quite sure what this is supposed to do for us. And she'll, I don't know, hold on to it. Does Eminence look like she's expecting it back? Pop it
Not
in my
really.
pocket then.
For you both.
I
There
will
is
have,
something
by the
that I
way,
want to say too.
I was just going to say that I would have read the note quietly out loud, because, like, acknowledging that Natalie has no idea what it said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
'Cause
Eminence has just tensed up all over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, continue.
I don't. If things continue to not go our way, I want you both to go home. I want to save everyone here just as much as you do. But if we can't, at least we can get someone out. We can continue trying to work in here, trying to get everyone else out while you're gone, but at least two of you can get out. You can call your dad and get out, or banish yourselves, as you mentioned.
You want to test
I'm
that,
gonna
by the way? Should I just banish someone and see if they come back tomorrow?
What are you going to do? Wake up every day and try and banish someone? Eventually, we're going to forget.
Maybe.
You could be sending them into death by doing that. Could.
Okay, no, hang on. Both of you shut up. We're just ignoring what she just said. I wasn't going to leave you in a tunnel, and you want me to leave you here.
We have to be realistic in this situation. If this goes on much longer, we won't have anything to remember, and we'll be stuck in here too. At least from the outside, you have a chance of trying to help us. Because we've done nearly everything that we can think of in here, and it has done nothing, except get people killed.
All right. Of all of these stupid ideas that the three of us have had
I'm
that
not
haven't
stupid.
worked so far, that is the stupidest idea I've heard so far.
No, I don't think it is, actually. Realistically, we need another approach. And that is the only thing that I can think of, because at the moment we are grasping at straws.
All right, we'll find another approach, but we're not leaving you here.
I really wish you would. I'm not important, Eminence. As important as you and Oriana, you are both princesses of hell. That in itself is important.
Add that, I am going to see if anybody is listening to this conversation.
I'm not even trying to be quiet, because they're not going to fucking remember anyway. So I don't care.
But it may ruin the participation for the rest of the day.
And setting aside the fact, that I have well and truly resigned myself to a life of putting myself in danger. You haven't. And yet you continue to do it. So quite frankly, you are more important here. I would like you to get Aery out, because despite the fact that he's a little bit privileged at times, he means a lot to me too. And I would like you all to get out of here. And not be dead. And not have an arm that doesn't work. And I'm happy to stay, if that means that someone needs to stay. But you need to get out.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to try to hug her.
Glad you're thinking positive things, because I was like, I could cast banishment on her like right now. She'll come back if I break the spell within a minute.
Does Natalie let me hug her?
I mean, she's standing very still. And probably
It's that,
isn't-
because both of us have like a limp arm as well. So I'm just like this
I
over
like to
you.
think, so I've
And you're
regularly
just-
ruled that it was her good arm. So her good arm's on her right, and if you're on her right, you're like left arm around her. So it's like a cute snug hug, but
Oh.
Natalie is stiff as a board.
I'm just gonna keep hugging you until you hug me back.
Despite the fact that she actually can't because it's her bad arm. She won't.
Could
She will just
you
stand
could
there.
move like still hugging, like, so I'm kind of saying this like over her shoulder. I don't know what exactly you think I am, but I'm not a princess, really. I'm not important. I'm just trying to do something meaningful, and I'm trying to do what you do. It's not really working out for me.
I am a terrible person to mirror. I put myself in danger all the time. You should not be looking at me. I walk into a battle with no armor, and I use my emotions to hit things over the
So does
head
Emmy.
with an axe.
I know, I was just thinking that.
But I'm trained. I'm trained to be in those situations. I know how to be in a melee fight with someone with no weapons or with multiple weapons. I know how to be in that situation. I can take a hit. You can't.
I mean, I'm still here, aren't I?
Barely.
I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but we're both one arm down.
And I can still fight.
I think I've still got some tricks up my sleeve.
If you say so. I don't think you're getting it though.
I'm gonna keep trying to.
Point still stands. We need to get people out somehow.
All right. So we come up with a new plan.
I don't have one. What do we even know? We know that we're in a time loop. Cool. Excellent.
Mhm.
We know that we've been here for potentially weeks, possibly months. Who really knows? We know eventually we're going to run out of our memories. We know that Alexia is responsible for killing at least one person, but we do know that she only kills people on the nights where we remember. Because if we've been here for weeks, she doesn't kill people on those other days. So why does she kill people on these days?
We know that there's a dragon potentially
Which
under the
could
city.
potentially, I know that I led us there, but potentially that could just be the heating for the town.
It seemed too large to be a dragon, and I mean, I don't know how many coincidentally epically powerful things can exist in one small hot spring town.
If we go down to fight something like that, we're probably just going to die.
I was not suggesting that we go down to fight it. I was thinking that perhaps these sacrifices.
So how does that help us?
We
I'm
could.
just trying to be practical, not to... Could be very right, but I don't know how that helps us.
Maybe it's time we do try to contact someone who has quite a wealth of experience in sacrifices.
Isn't he the one who gifted you your power? Aren't you the best one to be able to contact him? Wouldn't he know what you're doing? Is that not how that works?
He's not the most attentive parent.
Yeah, but you'd think if you gave someone a gift of power, you'd want to know where that goes.
I'm not entirely sure it was a gift.
You think
Or
he
a test,
cursed
maybe.
you, or... right. Sounds like a terrible idea.
Oriana, who passed up that opportunity, is internally screaming.
So yeah, if these people are meant to be some kind of sacrifice, what are they being sacrificed to? That thing underneath the ground? Why does it need to be... Why do people need to be killed for that to happen? Like, the way that they are.
Maybe it's time they've decided it wakes up. There's obviously some kind of spell on the town outside of here that makes people passive. They don't seem to care that people are going missing. Maybe this time loop is just a way to collect people. Kind of slowly. I mean, I am assuming that if 50 people had disappeared overnight, maybe it would take a lot longer for the town to stop caring. So they're drip feeding sacrifices into this stupid fucking time loop.
Meaning the time loop is something of a like a holding pen.
Then
Still doesn't help us
why...
get out of it.
Yeah, like... Short of killing a giant monster that we don't even know is actually responsible here, except the fact that it is here, obviously in this plane. Don't even know if it's technically it. We have no definitive leads on anything. Just that kill big monster, which isn't necessarily always the best move. Can't catch Alexia because she knows we're onto her. Don't know where she's going, have no way to track her.
Actually, provided she fails the wisdom save, potentially we can find out where she is right now.
What's the time?
It's pretty late. It's probably close to around 10:30 at night. You've spent a large portion of the day today standing watch for Alexia,
Yeah,
aside from
yeah.
a few conversations here and there and some brief excitement, and deciphering the letters from Aery. There hasn't been too much.
Did we like keep the Kuatoa in like the kitchen or something? Where did we keep them?
It's a good point.
I'm guessing potentially we've just left them in a corner somewhere and just like been like stay. And
They've probably been following around Tulvir all day, trying to I don't know, just trying to appease Tulvir.
Well, if you were able to find her right now, we know she's injured. She probably hasn't gone far. If we can act before the next loop, we could.
Making loud noises and I didn't.
Eminence, make an intelligence check for me.
What's my intelligence? Oh, +2. 14.
14. You showed them the letter of that Ori seemingly wrote. You have not communicated to them yet the second bit of information that you have, because that wasn't written down on another sheet of paper. That was still being solved.
Right. Yeah, actually, speaking of spells, the area and Diana, they were working on something else as well. I know that you both said that this Ori thing is probably going nowhere, but we should at least have a look at this. And I will head back over to the ladies. I don't know if these guys will follow me or if I'll have to go get the letter and bring it back to them.
Sure.
I'm still watching the thing, and it's not out of like stubbornness. It's literally just concern and feeling like you're useful in that moment. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll go check on progress. Have they finished up their transcription, or are they still working on it?
Yeah, they've translated a majority of it. There's only like 2 or 3 lines that they haven't finished translating, but from what you can see, a lot of the core content has basically been translated. It's talking about that time dilation, time anchors, and then the most recent scribble that they mentioned was time dilation in interdimensional spaces. Note to self: test in pocket hole.
Excuse me, ladies. I'm so sorry. You're doing a fabulous job. In fact, so fabulous that I need to just thank you, and I'm going to take it back over to the girls.
Yep. And you kind of pluck it away as Aery is like writing down a number, and she kind of looks over towards Yana, who I know she'll bring it back.
I will.
Slowly drops her hand back down.
Pulls out a knife, ready to fucking stab her. Just like, you took my paper.
You took away my puzzle!
My Wordle.
It's almost solved. Yeah, I'll bring it back over to the girls and be like, oh, okay. So I know we were just talking a little bit about the whole interdimensional thing, and not to get too excited, but this could be something. This is also a paper that Aery was working on. I can't make heads or tails of most of it. I don't know if Aery, you might have some more luck. It's sort of magic adjacent.
I am not like as the human Maleficent, not a sciencey kind of person, and this is like extra bullshitty sciencey thing. Can I roll to see if Oriana understands better?
Yeah, so both of you, because you use magic, both of you can make an Arcana check. Try to understand this page. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey magic.
The dirty 20.
Mm.
19.
I'm a terrible cleric. I have a +1 to my Arcana.
Yeah. So this is something that you're familiar with, that the both of you are familiar with. You remember there was a brief period where dear old dad was interested in chronomancy, and it was like it was one of his phases. But this one was particularly vehement because he was looking for a way to send himself back in time to before Asmodeus was the ninth ruler of hell and claim the ninth spot before Asmodeus. And he did a lot of research and dug up a bunch of artifacts from Cania and basically went all over the ends of hell. He hired people to come in and teach him about chronomancy and then promptly devoured them. This you remember this phase growing up, and you recognize a lot of the patterns of like how the arcana of magic interacts with the fabric of time. This seems to be on the track of like a fallback, like an emergency. Like this activates once and sends you back. But you get the sense that anytime it is activated, it would have to be manually reactivated. So, according to the documentation that you see, this spell is similar in theory, but not in application to the one that you currently seem to be experiencing. The final note that catches your attention is the note at the bottom about time dilation in interdimensional spaces. Specifically altering or changing the flow of time in like a pocket dimension. And that's where it says, remember to test inside of pocket hole. And actually, both of you can make a history or arcana or religion check, and Natalie, you can do that as well.
History is 17.
Okay.
5. All those are in checks, so I had no chance, but I'm trying to contribute.
24 on a religion check.
Yeah, so Emmy, you know that a pocket hole is slang for a portable hole, which is a piece of cloth that is just a single like black piece of cloth that you can attach to any surface, which opens. It's basically like the mouth to a bag of holding, but it's large enough that people and objects can go through inside of it.
I'm gonna. Do I have the piece of cloth that we found on me, or does Natalie have it on her? Emmy, as a character, has forgotten and is going like this. And if she does not find it, she is going to start patting down Natalie.
I'm pretty sure I had it because that was what we found in the little pocket thing, right?
Yeah.
By the vent?
You,
yeah.
No, so
No.
it wasn't. It was you got it underwater with all of the paperwork and whatnot. It was kind of like folded up and propped in the corner.
Right. Yeah, then one of us will
Almost
have it.
left to find. Yeah, I imagine eventually, like, I don't know how confused you are. Also, I'm doing this with one hand, so I'm just sort of like the cloth, the black cloth, the cloth. You've got it somewhere, right? You
I
took it,
imagine
right?
it's
You
like,
definitely took. I didn't.
put it in my back pocket, so it's like a little like handkerchief off the back.
That's the one. Okay. So, and I'm gonna explain to them very excitedly what I know about pocket holes and how they are a portable hole, and they need a black cloth to like activate like the entrance to them. And we found this where like the guy was with all the stuff and the things.
It's incredibly coherent.
I don't mean to diminish this finding, but we do know that Aery was responsible for making this time loop, right? Like, we've suspected that.
Yes. And this is the thing that he needed to make it, which means it could be the thing that we need to like unmake it.
So we tear a cloth?
I wouldn't suggest tearing it immediately. Other than knowing like that what a pocket hole is, what would I know about the actual process of one?
Basically, you unroll it like a blanket or a sheet so that it's fully expanded, and that's it.
And it should just be like what you like place it on the floor, it becomes like an actual hole that you can jump into.
Yeah. Gesundheit.
I'm gonna unfurl it, place it on the floor between us, and just kind of. Okay, so from what I understand, like maybe this won't work. Maybe because it was already activated, it won't work. I don't know. But from what I understand, maybe it can't be this simple. Can I poke it with my foot? Actually,
So you fully unfurl it?
yes.
Yeah. As you fully unfurl it and lay it out onto the ground, you see that it's just this fine black like silk cloth. It kind of bumpy over some of the ridges of the floor. As it fully unravels and expands to its full 6-foot diameter, there's a moment where the black is there and like the opacity slider suddenly gets turned up. It completely changes, and you are now looking in through the top of what appears to be an office. Fine wood and mahogany bookshelves line the walls. There's a fireplace crackling magically in a small brick fireplace next to you. You can see a desk immaculately clean with knickknacks of various shapes and sizes, clearly magical in origin. You see there's like a rich leather chair in the back of it. In the center of the room, you see what looks like a small glass pedestal. However, it is currently empty. You see there's a ring of dust around something that is supposed to be inside, but there is nothing in the pedestal. Um, yeah. All of this just appears before you as a 10-foot hole in the ground. There's like a small brass metal staircase delicately winding around the circular edge of the room.
Pocket hole.
That answers the question of how he got in there, I guess. Where is that?
I have no idea. Also, can I scrunch it up so that it stops being an actual interdimensional portal.
Yeah, the moment you like lift the edge up a little bit, the opacity just goes straight back to black, and it's like peeling a rug off of the ground.
Yeah. Just in case someone's like in there.
Yeah, that's certainly a thought.
I think this just brings up more questions. We have no idea where that office is.
Did it look at all familiar? Like it could have been a room in this facility, like at a different time? Or what I'm thinking is, did it look like the room that we were in underground where we found the pocket thingy like 100 years ago before it went to ruins?
From what you know of portable holes, they are their own dimension. It is its
Okay,
own portable plane.
I mean, it
So,
could be literally anywhere.
well, that's the thing. It isn't anywhere. It
It's,
is
yeah.
in that piece of cloth. That's the appeal of the object, that it doesn't exist elsewhere within the multiverse. So it is its own place.
Mm.
The only way in or out is through that piece of cloth.
Maybe we do want to open it again and see if we see anyone in there.
Oh, just like a skeleton.
Just the chair swivels around. I've been waiting for 70 years.
um, yeah, so this is quite possibly the pocket dimension that whoever did all of this to us right now was using to practice. At the very least, it looks like an office. I mean, maybe there's more information in there.
Some part of me just feels weird about jumping into this dimension and then going into a complete other dimension where we don't potentially know how to get back.
I mean, you wanted more ideas.
So, Eminence, you would know that if the portable hole is closed while someone is in it, the person inside can try to force their way out. And it's not very difficult. They are not designed to act as prisons or anything like that. It literally is, if the hole is folded up while the creature is within inside, they can use their action to make a DC 10 strength check.
Oh,
On
you could
success.
literally like punch your way out.
Yeah, it's not difficult at all.
All right, I'll communicate that, and especially the part about the punching.
I am not very trustful of magic.
You could wait out here if you'd like.
No, I'm going in there. Just don't trust it.
I'll wait out here then. I think
Just
somebody has
know
to.
that if something does happen out here, I will have no regrets in literally tearing down time and space to come back here.
We truly wouldn't expect anything less.
Good. We doing this then, I'm guessing?
Actually, no. You're staying out here if we're going into an office to look for clues. You can't read.
I'm not going in there to read. I'm going in there to look after whoever is in there.
Yes, but if you look out after the outside, then the two people that are in there can both investigate, look after each other, and find more information.
Yes, but what if for some reason you both get caught and they're like holding your arms back and you can't come back through?
Well, then you can, after a certain amount of time, if we don't come back, then you can simply open the portal again and come after us. Also, I gave you I'm sorry. I can't believe I forgot. You don't read.
We've only been traveling together for a few months now. I'll remedy that soon. Hopefully. We're either all going in or we're not. That's all it's going to say. If you're going to leave me out here, I'm just going to jump in after you.
Okay, fine. I do think there should probably be someone to protect the portal. I suppose we'll give it to Thunalv and he can put us in his pocket or something.
So you
I
could
mean,
just
not
leave
to
it open.
Yeah, but someone
bring
might
up,
pick it up.
not to bring up an issue that we kind of just put to bed, but I could stand and watch. It might be nice to
Yeah, but
make sure Alexia doesn't come back.
Oriana has a good point. You two know what you're actually looking for. You know how to read. You know about magic. It would be good to have two of your minds in there. It's just that I'm choosing to not leave you in there.
Interestingly, like we're choosing not to leave you in here.
See how it feels?
Yes, but if there is something in there, I would like to be in there to know that I'm there to help you with it.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. If y'all are going to keep going back and forth like this, I'm just going to end the day and reset.
No, we're all going in the
We're
hole.
all
Going
I do
together.
think it would be a good idea to do this in one of the private rooms, like wander down the hallway. So,
Mhm.
Could we
the
do
hole is just sitting there.
um Paranor has the key to the Torvir has the key to Ox room. We could just go lock ourselves in Ox room, right?
Quinn and Valmbjorn.
Volmbjorn. Okay, cool. I don't think Quinn likes me much today, but we could potentially ask Volmbjorn if he can give us his key. Potentially.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know, but we also... Fucking hell. Alright. The problem is, too, if I go in there, then we could potentially have Alexia come in and just go... word at fucking midnight. So no, I'm going to have to stay out here. So go in there, but be quick. If you're not in there, or out of there, before midnight, I'm coming in, I'm grabbing you back out, and we're all going to die together so we can reset.
That sounds like a plan.
Good. Go.
You go and get the key from Quinn and Valmbjorn and head over
Oh, we don't
to
need the key
Ox
anymore
room.
because I'll watch. So
Sure.
it's, yeah.
Uh,
We can skip that
you
at least.
find a private room large enough to lay out the cloth. Once again, the opacity shifts from black to this not even in image, literally as if carved into the ground is this perfect circular office, this study. And you can feel the heat of the fireplace crackling as Eminence and Oriana, your steps begin to clatter down the brass staircase circling the edge of the room. And that's where we're going to go ahead and end today's session as you enter into this study. With Natalie standing just above you looking down. It's not like there's like a ripple effect or anything. It's literally like opening a door to a room.
It's like it's literally a hole in the ground.
Exactly. Yeah. A portable hole.
Cool.
Yeah. This is a good session, y'all.
I feel like we not very successfully worked through some issues, but we tried.
The issues have been addressed.
We can deal with them
and-
later.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Just the look on your face right there, Natalie, of just like issues. Yes. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. We're going to go ahead and wrap up tonight's episode and hopefully resume with another one soon.
Like trying to
my name is D.
tap
I
at
run
it
the
and,
Dungeon
like, try-
Master. If you're interested in knowing more things that I do, take a peek down in the doobly-doo below and click on the link for my socials for more information. But mostly right now, all I do is I play Wordle and Dungeons and Dragons here. And that's about it. But let's go ahead and run through everybody else. Eminence.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I play Eminence. I'm pretty much only ever here in terms of things I do on the internet, so I will see you guys really, really soon.
Awesome. Ori.
And I am Maleficent. I played Oriana. I am unfortunately all over the internet. I also play D&D here on Tuesdays as well as today's. And I'm about to start in a couple of weeks a mini campaign on Polish Cryptid's channel because I was supposed to, after the Curse of Strahd campaign that I was playing finished, take a break from adding more campaigns to my schedule, and I didn't do that instead. But it's a mini campaign, okay?
Did
People
you
have
kill
been judging
Strahd?
me very harshly. Technically, no. Somebody else did. Um, it's a little complicated. Ours was like a Curse of Strahd sequel, so Strahd wasn't actually the biggest of the bad guys, but it was very interesting. Lots of fun. But we
Cool.
did win. We did win.
Yay.
Uh,
Unlike this campaign. Oh god.
we will win. We will. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Awesome. Natalie.
My fingernail is stuck on my head. Now it's off. Okay, good. Excellent. Sorry, I just had a broken nail and it caught in my hair. It was really annoying. I'm BurrowsRed, who plays Natalie. She's a half-orc barbarian who now has a name and never had a name before. I am on the internet as well. A lot. You can find my links below. So go there. Otherwise, I'm DM on Tuesdays and I'm here as player on Sundays as well. Did we talk? Did Nicole talk? Or did I just sleep for like 5
No.
minutes? No,
I
Nicole
We
think
did.
it's all
No,
brain
I-
off.
We went through everything.
I spoke, I just didn't have anything to say.
It wasn't the dox me. Chat
Oh,
this
yeah,
week.
dox me, bitches.
Yeah.
The usual.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
damn.
waiting for. The
The
cues.
huge,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Are we ready to move on?
We are.
Lovely.
We're heading over to Quick Save Gaming. Oh, I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. They're doing their pilot episode, their episode 0 today. So we're gonna go say hello.
Lovely. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
If you've got the doots, send the doots.
The doots. Doo-doo-doo-doots.
Many dukes.
If you don't, just be nice.
We do.
Yeah,
ask that you
and
be
just
nice.
type doot. The doot doot
Also
doot.
correct.
Ooh, Cog, I like that little dude.
That's a very cute little dude.
That is a very cute doot.
Oh, and somebody yell at me in the Discord sometime this week because I'm supposed to be making a duck emote
Oh.
because we all love duck and I keep fucking forgetting. So
Don't do
somebody
it.
yell at me.
Make a duck emote.
I'm gonna make us a duck emote.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate
Okay.
faces. We're gonna head over. I'm
Okay.
coughing a little. Sorry.
Ba blam whenever you're ready.
Bye.
Blam blam. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.